Good morning, my fellow Tottenham fans, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur. Your boy Jack, your boy Dave. Sorry, no Jack today. I suppose it's 2024. I can identify as Jack as I want, but no Jack today, of course, because it's very early. It's like 3 a.m. where he is. So I'm going to take the lead on this one, and I've drafted Dermotron out of bed here this morning to join me. Nice and early stream, and the reason being, get excited, guys. The fixture list is about to be released for the new season, and I cannot wait. Dermot, before we get going, and I give people some details and some, maybe put some questions out there. How are you keeping?
Yeah, I'm keeping fine, enjoying the summer. But today is the day. It's like Christmas Day for me today. Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, my birthday, everything rolled into one. Find out who Spurs get, who do we get in the first game of the season, when do we play the old enemy, when do we play Chelsea, West Ham, Liverpool away, Man United away. It's just so exciting. And no winter break, of course, in this next 24-25 season, of course. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And you can call yourself Jack if you want, Dave. It doesn't bother me. I just call you Dave O Jack. There you go.
It's 2024. I could be Jack if I want to be Jack.
Yeah,
it's the year that. But just, look, I'm excited. I've got the tea in the Spurs mug today and everything. I'm absolutely pumped.
I know what you mean. I love these days. It feels like the season's coming. And Euro 2024 is all grand, but it's not Tottenham. And it's not that we don't get the same excitement. So right on. I've got the Premier League open on one monitor. I'm just waiting for it to come up and going to keep refreshing it. 9 o'clock. There we go. All we want now is a couple of signings, and then our summer's complete.
Well, look, I think a few more signings, and I think many people would have been more excited about it. But look, we are going to be, hopefully to be out in 5 to 6 minutes time. There are rumors on social media that leaked rumors that the first game is away at Leicester at the King Power Stadium. We'll wait and see how true that is. Let's just welcome a few people in, though, and then I'll give you some little things about the season. Paul Connor says, morning, guys. We're hoping... who are we hoping for? Let's hope we get the first or last game at home this time. Absolutely agree. I just don't want to get railroaded with the fixtures like they tried to do to us last season. I remember pointing them out where the back end of the season, them fixtures, I was like, it's an absolute joke. But guys, answer Paul's question. Who do you want at home, or who do you want first and last game of the season? Good morning, Adrian. Good to see you, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. We've got the one and only Ribsy. Well, this is a very leisurely time for Spurs news. For those of us on my side of the world, 5:45 p.m. Don't mind if I do. Absolutely love that, Ribsy. For once, you guys out there in that part of the world get a decent stream at your time. Lee Harvey, morning, Dave. Hope you're well. Can't wait to see when we play the Scum, and that's the one I'm looking most forward to. When are these two North London derbies? Shemtown, morning, Dave, and everyone in the chat. Hope you're doing good today. How about a North London derby to start the season off with a bang? I don't think they'll ever do that, but that would be an unbelievable start, Shemtown. Paul Connor says, let's Lee, same time as normal, hasn't changed in ages. Toxic Headshot says, Leicester away. That's the one that... It's all good to see you, Sir Paul G. Why is my computer doing this? Well done, and good morning, Paul. Hopefully you're keeping well. We also have Beto. Good to see you. Alan Leslie. Morning all. Leicester away. First game, apparently. That is the rumour. Big up Dave Hamilton. He says Liverpool away. E.T., the new fixtures mean nothing. They change to the demands for sport TV channels. We'll get on to that. Pretty correct. Who else have we got here? We've got Catspur. I mean, it's 3 a.m. where I am too. Well, fair play to you. You must be on a late one, Cat. Really appreciate you tuning in. Davo, big up, chaps. Nice to catch you live. It's been a while, and a nice reminder that I think you still have the best team tune. Really do appreciate that. Really, really do. Look, when news goes quiet, you tend not to see me for a little while. And then when the news starts picking up again, hey, pressed on back. I'm like a magician. And we've got Michael Kenyon Waters. Good morning, Buck. Good to see you, my man. And that's what, morning, Dave. Good to have you back. Really appreciate that. And it's absolutely great to be back. So really appreciate that. So guys, just a quick rundown, 3 minutes till the fixtures are out. Of course, the new Premier League season starts on the weekend of the August 17th, 18th. But Dermo, you already looking forward to the season, the Premier League season to kick off now?
I am. I just want it to happen now. I hate these summer months. It's like you get withdrawal symptoms. And you get to the end of the season, Dave, you know this well as I do. And you think, great, I've got 2 weeks off Tottenham and lovely, can relax. And then you get bored and you start twiddling your thumbs and you
Yeah.
start scratching your head and you start thinking, what am I to do now for the next 2 months? And then these like last week, the first day the window opens. Now you've got the fixtures. You know, pre-season's going to come in the next couple of weeks. And it's all just starting to build up. I can't wait. August 17th. I wish it was tomorrow. I really do.
Do you know, I can't wait for pre-season to start at the end of next month, to be brutally honest with you, Dermo. Big up, Scooter Reacts. Great to see you. And also Shawnee Hurl as well. Good to see you, Shawnee. Really appreciate you being in here. And big up Beto8777. Really appreciate the support. Says, love you, Dave. Big up, boys. Look, Beto, really appreciate that. The love is mutual, my man. Oh, I love all you guys out there too. You know, when I'm not on screen, I do feel a bit guilty, but you know me, I'm not going to sit there and invent stuff to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. But big up, Beto. Really, really appreciate the support, my man. And then we have this from Alex Grint, hoping for a home game in mid-October since I will be in London and I want to go to my first ever Tottenham game in the UK and see the new stadium. Alex, let me know what game you would like it to be. Trust me, if anyone ever gets the chance, make sure you get down to the stadium and take in a game. It's absolutely unbelievable. Beto, really appreciate the support. Top man. Really do. Also, guys, the Premier League has said that in a bid to address the congested schedule across Christmas and New Year, more rest time will be given to sides over 3 of the festive match rounds, with no club playing within 60 hours of another match. Now, of course, last year we got absolutely screwed. Sometimes we didn't have games for 2 weeks, and then sometimes we'd have a game, 48 hours after playing one when there was no need to congest our fixture schedule like that to a degree. So hopefully they actually stick by that, especially when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur. And then also the mid-season break has been removed from the calendar to allow a mid-August start date for the Premier League. Dermo, thoughts on them removing the winter break? I was not a fan of the winter break myself. I don't like them messing with the sort of festive fixture schedule over December and January. It's what keeps a lot of people sort of going. So I'm glad that they've removed it in a way, because they brought it in to try and put themselves in line with maybe some of the European leagues. But that's maybe what made the Premier League so special to me anyway.
Yeah, look, the Christmas period is special. It's unique in world football. Look, at the time, I thought it was a good idea. But looking back on it now, I think I was wrong on that. And I think, look, I'm glad they got rid of it, because it might come out a bit ridiculous, because you've got other clubs having more time off than other teams. And we seem to got screwed in that somewhere along the line, and it screwed us over. And then it was like, there was too long of a wait between games, and it just got a bit boring. If there was a tournament or something in the middle, you could quite understand. If they were hoping to plan for the Euros, that was the idea of it. And the fixtures out, Dave?
The fixtures are out. 1 second, I just want to big up Stevie Fraser. Good to see you, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Paddy Harnick, great to see you as always. He says, hope you're keeping well. He took the words out my mouth. I'm keeping well. How are you keeping? Let me know. And we've also got Chris Andrew. Our winter break was meant to be in January, but it was mixed absolutely spot on. Now, we'll try and find a clearer picture for you. Maybe that's something Dermo can do while I read out the fixtures.
Yeah.
But the pre-leaked rumours were true. We are starting off with Leicester City away at the King Power, followed by Everton at home, and then Newcastle United away to finish out the month of August. Dermo, what do you think of August's fixture schedules? We've got 2 away games and 1 home game. Premier League maybe trying to get Tottenham off to a bad start again. It seems to be a common theme, this.
It does. It really does, Dave. I'm just trying to get them up on the Premier League.
No worries.
The Premier League team. But look, Leicester away is not a bad start, actually, Dave, if I'm being honest. I mean, I would take Leicester away. And for me, that's a good start. But they always try to screw Tottenham over early in the season. You know that. We shouldn't really be surprised, to be fair.
No, that's true. That's true. That's very true. Just bear with me one moment. I'm going to try and bring them up for you a different way so that you actually maybe get to see them a bit more. So just bear with me. But Leicester is the start, followed by Everton at home and Newcastle away, guys.
I've got them on the Tottenham website. If I want me to share this for you, Dave, if you can.
If you want, if you can bring it in and we can, bring them up on screen so everyone can sort of see them.
Yeah. Right.
But Everton are new Leicester City away. Can you zoom in on them?
Let's see if I can or not. If I can. Hopefully I can. No, I don't think I can.
No.
Okay. I'll come out, take that out, and I'll go into the Premier League website. Let's see.
Give me 1 second. Just keep them up on screen there for 1 second. I want to try something here myself.
Yeah.
Just bear with me, guys. Sorry. I thought I'd be able to bring it up a lot better than what they're showing up on screen for you guys. Just bear with us one momento. I don't know why this doesn't want to work now. Screw it. I'm just going to go back to what I had up on screen for the time being.
Yeah, do that. Yeah. Sorry, Dave.
No, you're all good. Now I need to open Twitter again. Oh, Lord, I'm having a mare. So annoying when they don't bring them up so you can see it properly.
Oh, no.
Zoom in on the shit.
Right, so I'll do that.
Guys, does anyone else know if there's a way to make these bigger for you guys out there? But look, I'm just going to bring it up here. We'll run through it.
Yeah.
So then we move into September. And the first game in September, which is the 14th, straight off the back of an international break. Dermo, it is the home North London derby. 4 games into the season, nice and early. I mean, are you surprised the North London derby is so early?
I'm not. I'm just glad we've got a home game with them first, because every game the last season's been away at their place. It's forever we've started with a home fixture against Arsenal. No, I'm not surprised. But it's not a bad month, really. Arsenal at home. Then we're in the round 3 of the League Cup. Brentford at home. Then Europa League 1. That starts. And then we've got Man United away. So, it's not a bad September, actually, to be fair. That, beat Arsenal, beat Man City. Man United, beat Brentford.
Well, what I will say is the fact that Arsenal and Brentford are at home, it'll be a good opportunity for us to try and put 6 points on the board nice and early in London fixtures, London derbies, which would be absolutely ideal. And then, of course, United away to see out the end of the month. So that will be Newcastle away and Man United away, done and dusted nice and early. Just quickly before we move on, Dermo, you maybe worried about us going to Newcastle, especially off the back of 2 hidings up there over the course of 2 seasons?
A little bit, but look, next season's next season. Them games are gone. We start afresh, go up there with a new attitude. But yeah, it does worry me a little bit. But look, I think we're due a result up there. So let's go up there with a bit of optimism and forget what's happened beforehand, and we move on. Then we go into October, Dave. It's a very busy month of October. We've got 2 Europa League games. We've got a League Cup game to get there. Then we've got Brighton away and Palace away. So it's a very busy month, October there.
Very, very busy month there, Dermo, in October. So West Ham could be the game with that Alex, I think it is. Is it Alex? Let me just double check. Alex, I think West Ham could be the game that you might be able to get in, my brother. If you did say you were there in the middle of October, so maybe West Ham is the game that you can get for that. Brighton away at the start of October, finished out by Palace away as well. Seem to be getting a lot of away games in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 compared to 3, 4 home games coming out the end of October. Then heading into the most important month of it all, the best month in the world, the one that produces absolute legends, which is my birthday month in November. And of course, on the 2nd, we kick it off with a game against Aston Villa at home. And my God, we better not lose that and put me in foul humor. Then we are followed by newly promoted Ipswich Town on the 9th. Then the 23rd, Man City away, followed by Fulham at home to see out the month. So not a bad month there either. 2 fixtures we should win, and then 2 fixtures maybe a bit difficult enough. And then we are heading into the Christmas period. And we start off on the 3rd with Bournemouth away, and then Chelsea at home on the 7th. What a Christmas present that would be if we could beat them. Then newly promoted Southampton away on the 14th. Liverpool on the 21st. Now, this is one fixture I'm not very happy with. Everyone knows, everyone around me is Liverpool fans, and they're going to be licking their lips and chomping at their bits and that, knowing that Dave's Christmas is going to be ruined. I'm just hoping the fact that Jurgen Klopp ain't there, that we can, go and put 3 points on the board in that game. And then the Boxing Day fixture, the one that we all love, is Nottingham Forest away. And then, of course, Wolves at home to see out the end of the month. Dermo, November, December, we seem to be getting a lot of the big teams out the way, like Aston Villa, City, Liverpool, Chelsea. But the fixture list is maybe a bit more kind to us in that degree. It's not one after another. It's more broken up a little.
Yeah, it is a little bit. And I'm quite pleased with December, actually. Chelsea at home is a winnable game. Our home games are winnable. Let's have a think of it that way. And then we've got all 3 home games apart from 1 away, which for a Christmas period is quite good, actually. To me, we've got 21st, Liverpool at home, Boxing St. Stephen's Day. We've got Nottingham Forest away, and then on the 29th, we've got Wolves at home. So it's not too bad travelling-wise. And also you got on there, of course, 2 League Cup games, 1 Europa League game as well in the middle of that. And then if we're still in the League Cup, we've got the League Cup as well. So, it's not a bad month. Do you know what? The fixtures are looking a bit kind to us this year. I don't know what's happened in the Premier League. I don't know if they've softened to Tottenham. Or you're thinking, do you know what, lads? We've been a bit tough on Spurs the last few years. Let's be kind to them. They haven't been too bad. So big up Premier League. We know you're under a lot of stress. Yeah. But thank you.
No, hasn't been too bad so far, that's for sure. And then, look, guys, let's head into the new year then. In terms of January, we kick it off with Newcastle at home, Arsenal away, Everton away, Leicester City at home. So January starts off with 2 big games. Everton away also isn't the easiest of grounds to go to. So January is going to be maybe a bit of a tricky month, especially off the back of a Europa League campaign, cup games, a lot of minutes in your leg, sort of hard pitches, sloppy pitches. It's going to be a hard slog in January. Then we head into February, the month of love, of course, with it being Valentine's Day. We kick that off with Brentford away, then Man United at home, and then Ipswich Town away and Man City at home. So we get to 2 Manchester games out of the way nice and early, come the back end of the season. And then heading into the business end of the season in March, we start with Bournemouth at home and Fulham away. Heading into April, we have Chelsea away, Southampton at home, Wolves away, Nottingham Forest at home, and Liverpool away. I mean, they better pray that we don't go far in the Europa League if they want us to fit that many fixtures in April. But that should be, again, it's going to be a bit of a tough month. Wolves away, we struggle up there usually. Yeah. Chelsea away and Liverpool away. That is going to be a tough month. So if we are in a top 4 race or we are in a title race, we need to put as many points on the board leading into this month as we can, because I predict that's going to be a tricky one. And then in May, West Ham away, Palace at home, Aston Villa away, and Brighton at home. And it makes a massive change from last season where we played Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, all back to back, which is grueling. We've got a bit more of a break this time around. Dermo, you happy or a lot more happy with the ending of the season than maybe what we were seeing before?
I am. That's a great end of season. They're all winnable games. And just for me, to finish that season at home is nice as well. Because the last few seasons we've been away from, I think it was the last 2 or 3 seasons, we've been away from home. So to finish at home, it's great. To get the big game, apart from Chelsea and Liverpool, the rest of the top 4 teams, we've got a good run in April as well, by the way. Southampton, Wolves, Forest, West Ham, Palace, Villa, Brighton. They're games that are going to be not fight for top 4. So if we're in the top 4 race or a championship race, it's a good running. And what I love about April is Chelsea's at 7:45 as well. Arsenal in January is at 7:45 kickoff. The night games as well. That brings something special to these fixtures as well. So for me, it's great. The only thing that surprises me 26th, Dave, it's the same day as an FA Cup semi-final. So if we are in that semi-final, that game could be moved. But a lot of these games will be moved because of TV. So it's a bit of, we don't know if we're going to be in the first game of the weekend. Like we were at Brighton on Sunday last week. We all know that the last game of the season is going to be on Sky or TNT. So we know that for a fact that that's on TV, we think. But also the FA Cup's in the bang and middle of that as well, the final on the 17th of May. So do you know what I mean? It's a good, I think it's a good fixture list for us actually next season. It's been quite fair. It's quite balanced, I think. I got nothing to complain about that fixture list. It's balanced.
Do you know what? For once, I actually think it's a fair enough fixture schedule. Last season they shafted us with big games off the back of big games off the back of big games. They've actually given us somewhat a decent sort of fixture schedule this time around, which, look, I'm happy to see us maybe getting a bit of a fair shake. It is something that we constantly moan about here at Tottenham, which is not getting a fair shake. But Dermot, what's your thoughts on the opening 6 fixtures in terms of tough? That's obviously how we start the campaign. I mean, what sort of start looking at that do you expect us to get off to?
3 points at Leicester, 3 points at home to Everton. Of course, Newcastle, a point would do for me. So that's 7. Arsenal at home. Look, you're always going to want to beat Arsenal, but that game could be a point, could be a win. So probably that's 8. 11 were Brentford at home and then Man United away. You want to take a point away from home. So I'm looking at probably 12 points in that first 6 games. You try to win your home games and always at least pick up a point away from home. So I'll go for 12 points. And then, of course, in there, you've got a League Cup, which Ange's gone further in the League Cup next season than he did this season because we start in round 3. So he's actually now got he doesn't have to worry about using other players. And also we've got the start of the Europa League in that as well. So September's going to be a very busy month. But for me, Dave, 12 points in that first 6 games.
No, look, we'll get into my points in it now in just one moment. But it's a good start for us to be able to actually get off to a good start, which is good to see. Let's take a couple of chats here just quickly. Big up Dark Sun G. Why do we always face Liverpool around that time? What time are you talking about? In and around Christmas, Dark Sun G, or in and around April? It does seem to be that we play them in and around April, actually, an awful lot, actually. I think you're correct there. I think that's what you're referring to. Are you a bit nervous, just before Christmas, Dark Sun G, playing Liverpool? I know your dad's a big Liverpool fan, right? So, it's going to be a big game in your household leading up to Christmas. But Dark Sun G, let me know what you think of the fixture schedule in general. Let me know what you think of the first 6 games. Like I asked Dermot, what sort of run do you expect us to get off to? Starting off with Leicester away, Everton at home, Newcastle away, North London derby, first game in September at home, Brentford at home and Manchester United away. Let me know how many points you think we should definitely be taking from that. Dark Sun G, good to see you, my man. We've got Jim Boxwell, just a guy who loves Spurs. Really appreciate that, Jim Bob. How are you keeping, my man? Hi, guys. By the time May comes, we will be champions. Dermot, I mean, you and Jim sort of sing off the same hymn sheet in this regard. I mean, are you with Jim on this, or has he gone too far for you, Dermot?
No, I think it's quite possible we could be in the contention by then. Do you know what I mean? It's very possible. Look, at the start of all season, we all think we're going to win the league. That's not. We all think that. We all go thinking the first game is the first seat. Well, I'm going to win the league this year, but I genuinely think we can. I think Ange is built something special. You just got to add to it now. A few players here or there, and if we add the right players, add the right mentality of players as well, why not? Can we not go and win the league? I agree with you 100%. Absolutely.
Big up, Jimbo. Look, Ange Postecoglou has made no secret over the course of last season. He wants a title challenge. So I think that's what us fans should expect heading into this season. Of course, it does all depend on what sort of business they can do to aid Ange in what he wants to do. So let's wait and see. This summer's a bit weird. The market's a lot slower. You've got Copa America and the Euros going on. And you heard what Højbjerg's agent said yesterday in terms of not deciding anything until after the tournament. I think most players are in that camp, and I think that's why we're seeing a very, very sort of quiet market in general. But Jim, I love it. Look, it's fixture list day. I always believe that we can go and win the league. Whether it's going to happen or not, it's a different story. But as of now, I like to believe, my man. Big up, Jimbo. Let's see what other people in the chat are saying about the fixture schedule. We've got Rob Frank. We always seem to play Liverpool away towards the end of the season. Yeah, that's what Daxon G was saying. It's a joke. Paul G, a very favourable end to the season run. I'll take it. Look, I'm happy with it. Taku, big up, lads. Was looking for a Spurs stream. Really appreciate that, my man. Adrian Schrocker, no mid-season break this season. Thank God. And it is something that the Premier League have eliminated so that we could get the season kicked off earlier, which is good to see, Adrian Schrocker. Bilbo says the Man City game is on my birthday. Well, look, hopefully, actually, maybe it's a good omen because, we are Man City's bogey team. We've got Davy Hall. Depends what players we buy. We need to stop conceding goals all the time. That is a fair point, my man. That is a fair point. Alex Glint says, yes, West Ham, I am going to try and go. Yeah, the Irish Hotspur derby is what we like to call that one. They hate me, I hate them. It's pretty mutual. Wayne Bonner says, effing sweet, nice early NLD. My gooner mate at work is getting bantered. 5-0 Spurs, scum to be relegated. Daniel Harris says, for a split second, I thought Brian Cranston was on this live. Matthew says, really, Arsenal that early? Look, I'm okay with it, I'm okay with it. I like an early season North London derby, to be brutally honest with you. What I don't want is when we're in the middle of trying to do something, these fuckers pop up and ruin it, So it's good that we're getting it out of the way nice and early. Got Mr. Harris says, big up Team Harris checking in. That's a really nice fixture list. No blocks of playing the top teams in the same month like we often get. And absolutely spot on. I think this is something that might actually come back to help us. When we play these games back to back to back, these big games like we did last season, if you don't go into that in great form, it then becomes a grueling task. No one really goes like last season. We had a 4 or 5 game sort of period. I was over at the North London Derby come the back end of the season, and I was very concerned with what I seen, and it gave me no hope heading into likes of the Chelsea, the City game, and stuff like that. So they can be very hard and grueling sort of fixtures. So I'm glad that they're a lot more spread out. It actually gives us a good chance, a good run to be able to go and beat these teams and knock them off, which is a good opportunity in that regard. Big up Daniel Harris. Gavin Mills says West Ham away last game. Oh, no. Well, it's the first game of May. It's not the last game, but look, going to be a good fixture. Hopefully, we have what we need wrapped up by then, because you can guarantee they'll want to spoil the party. Big up to Emily, guys. Make sure you listen to her. She says, don't forget to like, subscribe, grab yourself a membership, and have your say on the fan show. So make sure you do grab your memberships formed at reason alone, and all the extra membership content you guys do get. And she says, get your super chats in, and your comments will be discussed. Come on, you Spurs. Really appreciate that. Look, it is a good way to go if you do want to support the channel and stuff like that. Feel free to do it. But I understand it's tough times out there, and all you guys want to go away on holidays, and you're saving for your spending money. So, don't be afraid to keep it and enjoy yourself either. Paul Connor says first game is Monday Night Football. Oh,
it is. I've just noticed that it is.
No
it's
way.
on the 19th.
Oh, yeah. Sure, Saturday is the 17th, and
Yeah.
Wow. So we're the last ones to kick off that weekend. How'd you feel about that, Dermo?
Bring it on. I love that. Bring it on. The only thing is, though, we've got to watch all the boring teams play Saturday, all the boring shit teams play Sunday before we get to play on Monday. I know, and it's a bit of a torture to go through, I know, but bring it on. First game, that's good. I'm happy with that. Come on, you Spurs.
Do you know what? I love it in a way, Darmo, because they've saved Tottenham to be the box office fixture.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. We're going to be the one on Monday. The whole world is going to be tuning in. Everyone's eyes are going to be on Tottenham and Ange Postecoglou. And you know what? Hopefully it'll motivate the team itself to sort of be ready for that first game of the season, want to go out there, lay down a marker on TV, show everybody how impressive we can be. I'm absolutely buzzing being the Monday night fixture, because what I don't want is to be lumped in on Saturday or Sunday with a load of other teams, and the game not really get covered. I'm delighted that we are prime time Monday, and hopefully sets us up for the season nicely. And if we can go and have a good season, expect more of it. Big up Paul Connor. I'll keep working up and take a few more comments, and then I'll skip back down to the bottom. We've got Looper Carl. Big up yourself, lads. Big up. Really appreciate that. Stevie Fraser says, really, you want to promote teams away a bit later. First game will be tough. Do you know what? First game and towards the end of the season is where you want to avoid a lot of these teams, because first few games of the season, they're pumped up, they're revved up, they're ready to go, and they're enthusiastic, right? Energetic. They want to go and make a bit of a statement. One thing I will say is hopefully the change in manager, no Maresca there, might actually aid Spurs, might actually help Spurs. I believe they're looking at Graham Potter to bring that fraud in. I mean, that should be an easy 3 points where I'm concerned there. And then last games of the season when they're usually fighting to stay up and scrapping for everything. So I completely agree with that. But hopefully with it being Leicester, with the change of manager, it might actually help us to that regard. Maybe that's why they're putting it on Monday Night Football, so they can give Graham Potter a big special. Who knows? Big up Zoe as well. Great to see you, of course. Now let's skip down to the bottom and let's work our way up again. We have Dark Song G. This fixture is better than last season. For your information, Gunners face City and us back-to-back in the first 6 games. Laughing my ass off. The April fixture is hard with Wolves away. I definitely agree with you when it comes to Wolves away. It's one I was nervous about last season, and sort of everyone was like, "They calm down, we smacked them up." But in my whole lifetime supporting Spurs, when we've gone up to the Molineux, we've never done well, or we've always found it a really tricky fixture. One thing I will say is we sort of kick ourselves or shoot ourselves in the foot at the Molineux. We always go up there and sort of play well and do enough to be able to win the game, but never really take fully advantage of it. I think we did under Nuno, but apart from that, we found it a very tough place to go. So, I am maybe a bit worried about that on the run-in, but like I said, Dark Sun G, hopefully we've got something to play for, and hopefully, we've got a different mentality heading into the back end of the season. But I'll be brutally honest, I'd rather that than Man City away, Chelsea away, if you know what I mean, Dark Sun G. But Dermo, they're putting Arsenal to the test nice and early. I'd argue that the Premier League have helped them be in a title race the last few seasons. Maybe the fact they haven't caught City yet, the Premier League are pissed off, and they've put Tottenham and Man City back to back. I mean, so it's difficult little period there for Arsenal, and maybe somewhere where we can maybe get a little bit ahead of them earlier on in the season.
Yeah, I think it is. I think, why not? I think it is a great time to play them early. Arsenal are not great early starters, by the way. So last couple of seasons, last season they were pretty good, but a few seasons before that, they haven't really been early. It's one of the early games. Will they be up for it? Do you know what I mean? Tottenham were out looking for blood, revenge after last season. Do you know what I mean? I'm the thing that's got me about this fixture season and next season, of course, is the Man City thing that's rumbling on behind. How's that going to change the season if they get found guilty and the punishment is expulsion? How's it all going to change the Premier League in itself? So maybe that running for us is actually a blessing in disguise, because if we're in there as about for the championship or for the top 3, we probably got the best running than most other Premier League teams. And for me, we need to get. For me, also, we need to get out the big guns out early, and to get Arsenal away at home done before January. I think it's a blessing, but it's a game. It's a game we can win. I'm just so confident. That fixture has really got me buzzing. I'm looking at it thinking, do you know what? I'm up for that. Do you know what I mean? And Monday night as well. That's just the icing on the cake. You can guarantee Tottenham will go there and draw 0-0 now. After us bringing it up and everything, you can guarantee it'd be the most boringest game going. 3 points, but I'm buzzing. I'm literally buzzing with that.
Nah, look, I'm definitely happy with the start. Just to answer my own question, maybe earlier on as well. How many points do I expect us to get over the first 6 games? Leicester City away, I expect 3 points. Everton at home, I expect 3 points. Newcastle away, I expect 3 points purely because there's surely no way we can rock up there and get a third hiding at their ground in 3 seasons. Surely at some point your reputation, your pride will be enough to be able to get you over the line. So I'm actually putting Tottenham down for 3 wins at the start of the season for sure. And then heading into that North London derby, I'm hoping we make it 4, Brentford 5, and then Manchester United away, I'll take a point. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I want 16 points from the first 6 games and get off to a really good start and make a statement. And I do believe it's possible. The fact that the North London derby is at home gives us the advantage to a certain degree. Now, I know it didn't work out that way towards the back end of last season, but with it being so early on in the season, we shouldn't really be carrying too many injuries. Should be no excuses about needing to rest anybody and stuff like that. We should have a fully fit squad going to that game. So I would like 16 points, to start with the season. People in the chat, let me know. Do you think maybe I'm being a bit over optimistic? But big up Dark Son G, my man. Really do appreciate the support. But Arsenal and Man City back-to-back for Arsenal. That is a difficult start for sure, my man. Big up, Dark Son G. Jim says, I will not change, Dave. The title is on me. No, look, I'm one of them. I like to believe at the start of every season it's mathematically possible to go and do the impossible, if you like. For me, it's the joy of being a fan. It's what being a fan is all about, is that hope, that belief, that something magical can happen that season, that it can go your way. And then if it doesn't, you pivot, of course, to the next best thing. Big up, Hayden. I live in Leicester. All my mates are Leicester fans, and it's on my birthday. Well, Hayden, hopefully you have a great day there, and hopefully you're the only one in Leicester smiling after the opening game of the season. DYT2, I just logged on. Do all the hard games come in the lead up to Christmas? So in December, of course, we do have Chelsea at home, Liverpool at home, January, Newcastle at home, Arsenal away. That is probably a bit of a difficult sort of fixture period. Nottingham Forest away thrown in there. We should win that. Wolves should win that. Southampton away should win that. Bournemouth actually is going to be a tricky one under Areola. A very difficult sort of hard team to beat. That will be a tricky one. But maybe I would argue December, January, Dermot, is probably actually our hardest period. And even then, it's not grueling.
No, it's not. I think December looks quite good for us, actually. I sort of slightly disagree. We've got more games at home with just a couple away. But, Chelsea, Bournemouth away, we should win that. Chelsea at home, that London derby, they got London derbies just go any which ways. You don't know what's going to happen with them. Southampton away, we should win that. Liverpool at home, it's a game we should win. We beat them there last season at home. Okay, we've got a bit of help. Forest away is a winnable game, and we've got Wolves at home. I think that's another winnable game. Look, everyone's got to play the same fixtures in December, but I think our fixtures are a little bit kind to us. And we're also in there, we've got one Europa League game in there as well. So you've got that on the 12th, and then you've got Chelsea, you've got Bournemouth on the 3rd, Chelsea on the 7th, the Europa League on the 12th, Southampton on the 14th. If you're still in the League Cup, you got that on the 18th, Liverpool on the 21st, and then you got St. Stephen's Day, Forest away, and then on the 29th, Wolves at home. Squad rotation is going to be so important in December. Having the squad that you can change around and pick players for these games is going to be vital. And then we're going into January then, where it's a little less, it's still congested, but the games are very tight together. You got like Arsenal on the 14th, and then 4 days later we're playing Everton away, both away games. And then you've got Leicester at home, the 18th on the 25th, then Leicester at home, and then you've got 2 Europa League games stuck in the middle of that as well, plus an FA Cup tie, plus a League Cup semi-final if we're there. This is where squad rotation is going to be so important. So important, and it's about getting it right. So what we're building for this summer has to be so spot on, because there's a lot of fixtures in them months, January, December, that are so close together, 2 or 3 days, 4 days between each other. So I think, I don't know what you think, Dave, but squad rotation for me, that's screaming out to me. We have to have a squad to face all these games and have them ready.
No, 100%. Look, this is something that I've been on about for quite some time now. Is, in modern day football, you look at Man City, why they clean up. It's not only because they have the most money and the best players, but they also have a big squad that they can use. They take one out, they bring in another guy, and there's never really a drop off in what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
At Tottenham, it's, especially over the last few years, sometimes the first team has been crap, but then the guys stepping in have been absolutely even worse. And we need to eradicate that. Heading into this game with a Europa League campaign, and by the way, it was released yesterday that the Europa League format is going to be the same as the Champions League format. The first 8 teams in one big group come out, the next 8, or I think it's the next 8 or the next 16 after that. They all basically play in a knockout and then stuff like that. So it is the same format as the Champions League. But when you're playing Europa League, the Premier League, and the 2 cup competitions, which, by the way, Ange will need to have a good campaign in the domestic cups as well. The pressure's on him in that regard. We're going to need a big squad. You're talking about 50 plus games, potentially 60 plus games. You're not going to be able to get by with just the first 11 to be able to, get through all them games. So we have to produce a big squad. And I do think that maybe some of the under 21s will be kept around as under 21 players, but sort of be a hybrid at times when called upon. So we definitely do need a big squad to be able to compete there. Let's keep going through some of the comments just quickly. Ribsy says, could have been a lot worse. That's for sure. Absolutely spot on. And I couldn't agree more with that there, Ribsy. We've got Paul Hotspur Hippie. Good to see you, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Let me know your thoughts on the fixture schedule. He says they looks all right to me, man. Look, I'm happy with it, to be brutally honest. I think Ange will be very happy with it as well, Paul. Good to see you. We've got Bob Bean Counter as well. Big up there. Feels like ages since I see you. I really appreciate that, my man. How you keeping? Please let me know. Catspur says, think I'm going to try and hop across the pond for the West Ham game. A lot of people may be gearing up for that. That's maybe one I might have to go and do, Lee Harvey, the only thing is when Sky, TNT and Cups will end up getting back-to-back tough games. I hope not. Hopefully you haven't put the mockers on it. If that does happen, I know exactly who to go and blame straight away there. We also have Jim, just a guy who loves Spurs, member for 11 months. We need to believe and get on the Ange train, Dave. I'm fully behind Ange, and I fully believe 100% when it comes to Ange Postecoglou. I'm fully behind the guy. Really like the guy. Really like the job he done at Celtic, and I like the job he's done at Tottenham this season. He's got rid of a lot of the deadwood, a lot of the players that I wanted to get rid of, under other managers. He's done that. I'll always forever be indebted getting rid of the likes of Sanchez, getting rid of Eric Dyer, who people were making excuses to keep at the club. And now we've got Radu Dragsson and Van de Ven. Imagine that, and then people have the audacity to say Ange Postecoglou doesn't know football, and he gets rid of 2 donkeys and brings in 2, world-class defenders. So believe me, I'm fully behind Ange Postecoglou in that regard. Jim, big up though, man. Really good. Really appreciate the support, by the way. 11 months, that's crazy. Big up Mark Cook, big up Dave and Dermo. Good to see you. Alpesh Patel as well. Newcastle away. Early, no battering, please. I mean, as soon as I see it, my heart sank just a little, because of the hidings that we've took up there recently. Dark Sun G says February fixture looks annoying with Bees, City and Man United. So let's scroll down to February here. Brentford, Man United, Ipswich City. Do you know what? I understand why you're saying it's annoying, because you look at the Brentford game and the Ipswich game, we should win them. But then you got Man United sandwiched between it and Man City to see out the end of the month. The one thing I will say that stacks up in our favour there, Dark Zone G, is the 2 big games are at home. Man United's at home and the Man City game is at home, which helps Spurs. We're not making long trips up to Manchester then to get back down for games and stuff like that, which will help us and will be in our favour. And plus, reason why I love the home games, if you've got the 12th man there, us, the fans, so that should help us get over the line. I actually think February could be a decent month for us. with them two big games being at home. The likes of Brentford and Ipswich, we should be beating away from home. I don't care about the Kieran McKenna effect. I don't care about Brentford. At the end of the day, when you look at these and put them down on paper, they should be 3 points. So it is a bit of an annoying one because you'd like a clean run, but saying that, Dark Sun G, the two big games are at home, which will hopefully help us in that regard. Big yourself up. Just going to welcome a few more people in, Dermo, so just bear with me, my man. I'm just getting back into the swing of things of being a great host, you know yourself. Also, big up the owl lad. Says, morning, boys, the double is on. Come on, you Spurs. Hopefully you're keeping well, my man. Hopefully you've got up, you've had, some nice sourdough toast, and, you've had your coffee. I've gone for a bit of tea today in my Spurs mug. I'm trying to be good, and I've got the bottle of water here as well. But make sure you're good as well, because we need to go walking tomorrow, my man. So big yourself up there. We've got Lee Harvey, says early North London derby and a home game to finish. Come on, you Spurs. Look, I'm buzzing about the early North London derby, to be brutally honest with you. I'm absolutely buzzing about it. It's one of the first fixtures I look for. Being honest, money-wise, I was hoping it would be a bit later on in the season, so it gives me a chance to maybe get there. But it's earlier on in the campaign, so it looks like something's going to have to forego this summer, maybe a couple of kebabs, and I'm going to have to put the coffers together to try and get there for that game, Lee. You know that I love doing the North London derby. I absolutely love it. And a home game to finish, which is quite nice, actually. I do love the home game finishes, where all the players walk around at the end of the season, the awards are dished out and stuff like that. So big up, Lee. Really appreciate the support, my man. Good to see Spurs Ninja in the house, and we're winning the league then, gents. Look, it's fixture day. We're allowed to get carried away. Of course, we'll start dealing with realism once we know more of the transfer business that Tottenham are going to do. But right now, I like to believe. I think it's part of being a fan. We've got Croat Goat. I mean, could change the K to a T and we could have Throat Goat. Maybe that's a bit wrong. Says, really wishful thinking, getting 16 points in 6 games. Very wishful thinking. I fully agree with you. But that's what I would expect if I was manager in charge of Tottenham Hotspur. That's what I would like to see. Maybe 16 is a bit much. Maybe 15, maybe 13. I'd be happy enough with that. I just want to get off to a really good start. We've seen now you can't afford to lose too many games. You can't drop points in too many games, if you want to go and try and challenge for the Premier League, which is what Ange Postecoglou said he wants to do at Tottenham this season. There's no excuses. You've got to go and put points on the board. You can't drop too many points. I get what you're saying, but this is the level the Premier League's at now, and this is where we need to drag ourselves to. We've got Ginola, 14 THFC weeks. We'll be happy to play us. First game of the season. Do you know what? I can't wait to smash them, and I hope we smash them earlier on. One of the greatest pretenders in world football. And what drives me mad is I thought I got rid of these guys out of my life. I've got Josh Cullen for Ireland in midfield, who's exactly the same. The biggest pretender, such a hider. I mean, I was watching Josh Cullen there against Portugal. The ball's on the right-hand side. He's over on the left-hand side, waving his hands in the air like that. Give me the ball. Knowing he's never going to get it. What a pretender. And Harry Winks is the absolute same. I'm not going to applaud him. I'm not going to wish him well on his return. Never liked the guy. I want us to beat them so bad. Big up on that. We've got Guy Clark, AFC, Aston Villa or Arsenal Football Club. Guy can't read. It's Tottenham and Manchester United in the first 6 games. I mean, I believe I did say Tottenham versus United in the first 6 games. Also, Tottenham versus Arsenal. But to start off a comment by saying the guy can't read, I mean, get some manners. How about that one? That's not the right way to speak to me or Tottenham fans in general. Get some respect. But Dermo, Dark Sun G says, Gooners, first 6 fixture. Wolves at home, Villa away, Brighton at home, Spurs away, City away, and then the Foxes at home. Then they face Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, Chelsea away from the 26th of October. I mean, the first half of Arsenal's campaign maybe isn't the easiest fixture schedule, which is what I think Dark Sun G is trying to get at.
There's a word for this that we use in our great country, is the effect. Without saying it the proper way, and Dave knows what I mean by that. I mean, they're absolute. I mean, they're no easy games. Let's put that. They're no easy games at all. I think Arsenal are going to struggle this season, to be fair. I really do. And I'm just looking at the start of the season, Dave, for all teams. Sunday, Chelsea are at home to Man City. We've got the Man United are home to Fulham. That's the Friday night game. Then we've got Ipswich at home to Liverpool. We've got Arsenal home to Wolves, Everton home to Brighton, Newcastle home to Southampton, Forest home to Bournemouth. Then we've got the bubble boys at home to West Ham.
Enthusiast, don't get me cancelled.
Yeah, enthusiasts and Barney the dinosaur lovers. Sorry. At home to West Ham at 5:30 that evening. Then you've got Brentford home to Palace. Then you've got Chelsea at home to Man City. And then, of course, you've got the best team of the lot of the weekend on Monday night. Dave there, sitting there with his getting ready Sunday evening. Emily will be there telling him, Dave, calm down. You've only got 24 hours to go. You get Dave Monday morning, be on top of his roof in his house with his top off, waving a massive Tottenham flag, thinking, come on, you boys, I'm home to Leicester. The opening weekend looks to some good games there, Dave, to be fair, for a football fan. But yeah, Arsenal's first fixtures are tough.
Yeah.
They're not easy. And I think Arsenal are going to struggle this season. I really do. I really, really do. I think this is our year, man. This is our year. We can do it. The championship's coming to White Hart Lane.
As you can see, guys, the fixture list has already sent Dermot into absolute delirium. We'll have to get a welfare check and maybe send the doctor around to him later on. But I absolutely love it. Look, this is the excitement about the start of a new season, you know, the new Premier League fixtures coming out. This is what it's all about. So I absolutely love it, Dermot. Big yourself up. But Dark Zone G, I mean, I actually agree with Dermot. I think, how does Arteta pick up that squad to go again, knowing that they gave their very best last season and it still wasn't good enough? Now, look, if they go and get a striker, I think it's a bit of a game changer for Arsenal, being brutally honest. You know, there's a lot made that strikers aren't needed in modern-day football, but then why did Man City pivot to go and get someone like Haaland? You know, and they tried to get Kane the season they went with no strikers. Well, people forget that. You know, while everyone's sitting there trying to do what Pep done when he had no striker, Pep's reverted and went and got a striker, and everyone is still late to sort of cop onto it in that degree. But when it comes to Arsenal, it's a big question. Can Arteta pick them up to go again, knowing that their very best wasn't good enough? I hope not. Although, in a way, I hope Arsenal sort of keep him, because I do find his methods quite peculiar, and they are the source and the butt of a lot of my jokes when it comes to Arsenal. You know, the speakers, the light bulb moment, shit like that, you know. But they do have a hard start. And let's see how they get through it. What I will say, Dark Sun G, is hopefully they don't come out of it smelling like roses, because if they do, the writing's on the wall, the danger's there, you know. So we'll see what happens on that one, Dark Sun G. And he also goes on to say, Dark, looking at this fixture, we better get our signings. And you know what, Dark Sun G, I fully agree. For me, there's no real grueling period towards the business end of the season. You know, the fixtures are actually spread out nicely. Now, of course, I must say some of them will be subject to change the deeper we go into the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup or the Europa League, which is our hope. You know, some of these fixtures could change and it could create a bit of a grueling sort of fixture list. But as it stands right now, we've got a good run. Now, and it's probably our best run in terms of fixtures that I've seen in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Now it's over to the board. Go and do your job. Get the squad to be able to go and take advantage of this, is what I would say. Big up, Dark Sun G. Really appreciate the support, my man. Ribsy85 says they're also the best because they're demonstrably cheaters as well, to be fair. I mean, yeah, well, they do have Michael Oliver on the books as well. You know, that's probably why they can't afford a striker, because they're still paying Michael Oliver. Absolute 22. Yes, agree. Could be worse. Absolutely love that. Paul Connor says, I can see a massive clear out this season, 4 or 5 in, and the rest being made up from the under-21s. Remember, you got Bergvall coming in this season, and Hall and more, possibly Phillips and Dorrington. Absolutely spot on. We're going to need an absolute large squad to compete, my man. We've got Ginola, and he's from France. Big up, my man. My outlad used to take me there on holidays. I have a bit of a soft spot for France. Great cuisine, by the way. Great cuisine. And then we've got Kate Rixham. Dave, hope we buy some quality players in the transfer window. Look, so do I. I just think this transfer window, I think you're going to see a large clamour once the group stages of these international competitions are over. You might see quick deals starting to happen. But until then, I think it's going to be relatively quiet. But we do need quality signings. What I will say is, just because if we sign a player, just because it's not £50 million, it doesn't mean it's not a quality signing. We've learned lessons when we brought in Vicario. A lot of people didn't like Romero when he got here. Look how good he's turned out. Van de Ven, So it's just about us identifying the right sort of player. It's not about the fee, but big up, Kate. Really appreciate that. Got Joseph Tyler. Spurs not playing first game till the Monday night gives Ange a little bit more time working with his squad, plus with new signings coming in, which is absolutely a great point, Joseph. Good to see you. Paddy says you're going to look at going to the North London Derby this season, Davey. Do you know what, Paddy? I really do want to look, but it does all depends because it was very short supply of tickets, for the game last season, as you know yourself with the supporters groups, because it's such a game in demand. Now, I was one of the fortunate ones to be able to get it last season. I fear this season I might just have to miss out and actually let someone else have the ticket. I can't be that greedy. But if there's a way that someone could help me out to be able to get there, I mean, I definitely could make it for sure, Paddy. It's just about getting your hands on the ticket. They're like gold dust. Dark Sun G also says Gooners Jan to February fixtures: Brighton away, Tottenham at home, Villa at home, Wolves away, CEO, Foxes away. Ouch. These fixtures are tough for them. They might finally drop. I mean, Dermo, I would argue sort of January, February coming out of the Christmas period and the start of the season are the two ones where you want to have a good run over the course of the season. They can set you up nicely for the running and from the start of the season. I mean, look at Arsenal's fixtures. They've got it tough this year, Darmo. They must have done something to piss off the Premier League. David Dean must have resigned.
I think he has. And I think it's also Arteta's problem. I agree with you, Arteta, by the way, about them picking them up after last season. It's a very good point. If they do get a striker, then I will be a bit worried. If I'm being honest, I agree with you on that. I think that's what they are missing. But I've got a few Arsenal friends of mine that said they're sick of Arteta. They want him out. And it all depends on the start. If he has a bad start, and especially here in January and February, if he has a bad run in January and February, he could be on his way out. There's a very massive Arteta out group that want him gone, that don't want him there. So look,
good.
It's for me. It's important that we pick up the points. Let's look at ourselves. Forget about everyone else. We've got to look after ourselves. But it is so important that we get a good start in January and then you back it up in January and February, because they're the important months. That's where you start. January, February is where the league starts sorting itself out, where you know what you're fighting for the rest of the season. But yeah, it is vital. But look, of course I'm a Tottenham fan. Of course I want Arsenal to lose every game because I want Arsenal to struggle. So yeah, come on, Brighton, Spurs, Villa, Wolves, City, Foxes. Let's do us a favour. Put Arteta out of his misery. Please.
No, but definitely Arsenal do have it tough, Dark Sun G, which is absolutely great to see, my man, and I'm buzzing about that. Too long they've had it too easy. You look at some of the decisions in the back end of last season, and this is where I say, I question. You look at what Tottenham had to do to get and be hit almost to try and get a penalty at some points. It was absolutely disgusting, some of the carry on. And then you have Havertz diving at the end of the season, dangling his leg in, and no checks, no problem. Let's just give it. Let's keep Arsenal in the title race so we're not a one-horse league. Absolutely embarrassing. So, they've had an easy ride over the last few years. Hopefully that time is over. Big up, Dark Sun G, my man. Really appreciate the support, brother. And how are you getting on, by the way? How are you keeping over there? Please do let me know. Now, guys, I have gone to do this. Hopefully you can see the fixtures a lot more clearer. It's better. That's what I will say. So I'll leave them up there for you guys like that to sift through. Moondog says, good morning, lads. Good morning to you, Moondog. Hopefully you're keeping well. How did you get out on in Turkey? Plenty of kebabs, I hope. New hair, new teeth. Big up, Moondog. He's come back a new man. Good to see you, sir. We also have BSD 29 based on our form since January. I'd say we aren't getting more than 11 points by the end of October if we still have the same attack and midfield. And there's the person that's going to bring us all back down to reality. And being brutally honest, it's hard to ignore. The way we did end of the season, he's absolutely spot on. What I will say is, hopefully heading into this season coming, freshen up the squad a little bit more, create competition, which means everybody in the first 11 will be at it. That's where we need to get. Maybe Ange Postecoglou adapts a little bit, maybe a couple of variations or a little bit tweaks to what he wants to do at Tottenham Hotspur, to his style and his formation. So there is a possibility it could go that way. I'm not denying that, but I would like to think new season it's going to be a little bit different. I'd also like to think Maddison not making the England squad, a blessing in disguise for Tottenham. Hopefully going forward, he absolutely rips it up. Hopefully the ball's dropped with him. I said it at the back end. I said it most of last season. Maddison will not get into the England team on this form. He's not going to make the Euros, and he didn't. And hopefully it's been a bit of a reality check, because usually some of these guys like, that doesn't matter, I'm going to make it. I'm the guy. I'm the man. But it didn't happen this time for James Maddison. I'm delighted, and hopefully it actually gives him a bit of a kick up the ass, and hopefully he has a point to prove this season and actually unlocks the door going forward for us, which is what we brought him in to do. Uphill Gamer, good to see you, says, I think Arsenal are going to struggle based on what? No, look, basically, I was sort of saying, for me, I think they might struggle a little bit because the hangover of not winning the Premier League. They gave their absolute all last season. They gave their best. They barely lost a game of football, and it still wasn't good enough. I think Mikel Arteta will find it hard to pick them up. I think off the back of having a Euros, a lot of these players will have little rest than what they're used to having, and heading into a very grueling fixture list, it could come back to bite them in the ass. Now, I'm only saying it could. Let's wait and see. Uphill Gardner. Let's wait and see on that one. Sean Hurst says North London Derby was early last season, but at their place. No worries, as I feel they may struggle to go again. Arteta gone by Xmas. You heard it here first. Got Dark Sun G. Take a look at Liverpool's last 6 fixtures. Laughing my ass off. Come on, you Spurs. Dermo, can you go and do that for me?
I can. Where am I going?
Appreciate that. Dark Sun G will get Dermo on it. I'm going to keep flying through the comments and I'll come back to it. Tom Darn Soulful says, Ange told us top 4 is not good enough for our ambitions. He wants to challenge for the Prem. We have a way to go, yeah, and money is nothing. Parma was signed for 40 million. And absolutely my point. It's about the quality of the signing, not about how much you spend it on. And with Tottenham, we're not going to go in for the big boys, so we have to be diligent. We have to look for players that are the up and coming. That looks like what we've been doing in the market. Van de Ven, Romero, when we brought him in, Pedro Porro making the step up to the Premier League, Destiny Adoji, people like that, Kulusevski. We've signed a lot of up and coming talent. And hopefully this is the season it clicks. But like you said, and I've been saying it, Ange wants to go for the title, so it's up to them to build him a squad for it. Absolutely spot on. The Reptile Keeper says, let's not judge a signing until they have at least kicked the ball for Spurs. Interior, I agree, but that ain't going to happen. We all know that. A player will be judged before he even gets here and kicks the ball. The Reptile Keeper. James King's note says, if Spurs go there at the back, go 3 at the back next season, who would you play in central midfield? I'll be brutally honest. I know off the back of Radu Dragoson's performance yesterday for Romania, which was class, many people are saying, we need to get him in, we need to split 3 at the back. We just need to calm down. We're going to be playing 50, 60 games next season. The last 2 seasons under Ange and under Antonio Conte, injuries have become very frequent. They've stockpiled, they've mounted up. There's going to be plenty of time to get Radu Dragosin and give him the game time. And off the back of that, if he performs, he'll keep his spot. We don't need to change the system to put in 3 centre-backs. And what's driving me mad is no one wanted the 3 at the back underneath Antonio Conte. No one wanted it. Now we're sitting here going, oh, I think Ange should play the system that Conte played. But no one wanted Conte here. So I do not get it personally. And for me, I don't want to go to the 3 at the back. I don't like 3 at the back. I prefer the 4 at the back. But, so to your answer, no one, because I don't want to play the 3 at the back. Dermo, this is something that's popped up a lot across social media, especially off the back of Radu Dragoson's performance. By the way, James, I'm not having a go. I'm just giving my opinion on it, my man. But Dermo, do you think there could be a world where Ange might actually switch to 3 at the back?
I hope he doesn't. As you say, we all hated it when we played 3 at the back. So why would we want to go back? It's a system that doesn't work with us. It doesn't suit us. But look, there may be times when we have to. There may be the odd time European game, we may have to do that in Europe, or we may do that in the early League Cup games. But no, to keep to a back four, it worked. it worked. I just want to say very quickly on this Tony thing. I was talking to somebody who I trust last night, and it says Tottenham have talked to Tony. There's never was an offer made. There was not even personal terms agreed because Tony's in Germany playing for England, and there will be no really major transfer stuff until the Euros are over. That I'm hearing that July.
Do you know what, Dermo? I seen that come out yesterday. A few the normal Twitter accounts hopped on it.
Yeah.
Michael Bridges very early on. Do you know the Spurs representative for Sky Sports? He was straight underneath it going, no substance to the rumour, not true. And it was an absolute source, a media company I've never heard of. It's like me and you setting up, calling ourselves D&D Sports. Yeah. I'm putting out that rumour and then people quoting it. It's absolutely ridiculous. But Michael Bridges vetoed it straight away.
And that's why I saw it yesterday and I knew it was a load of crap. And I haven't done a lot on my channel because I've been taking a bit of an extended break. But even I knew it was a load of crap. There'd been no proper transfer until the end of the Euros. All July and August is going to be hopping. Teams are going to want to get done very quickly. But yeah, Spurs Jumper says D&D Sports has a ring to it. It actually does have a ring to it, Dave.
No, but basically what I'm trying to say is you go and look at the source that leaked it, I've never ever seen it before. It's like two friends set up a sports company and put the rumour out. It's absolutely madness. D&D Sports does have a slight ring to it. Big up James Kingsworth. I try not to get this animated before 10 o'clock in the morning, but James has done it. Big up Jamesy boy. Good to see you, my man. Sheb Thompson Sturman needs to stop drinking the Kool-Aid this morning.
No, I'm quite happy.
Arteta out. Kate Rickson, Dave, is that true? Is it true Tony has done personal terms? No, nowhere near true. No. Nowhere near. It was vetoed very quickly by, I would say, more reputable sources. Yes, as soon as it came out. We've got Orox Beach. Good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. Doji, Vicario, Sar, all cost us next to nothing. Look at them now. Absolutely spot on, my man. And even look at the money that we paid for Romero. He's a £100 million player plus now. Look at the money we paid for Van de Ven. He's a £100 million plus player now as well. So absolutely spot on, Orox Beach. Good to see you, my man. We've got Absolute 22. Arteta Botox addiction is out of control. Big up Absolute. Definitely is. Rick and Brighton. He's changed from Rick and Rio to Rick and Brighton. He's a well-travelled man. Arteta in. Long live the cereal bottler. Big up, lads. Spewing. We don't have a home game on the opening day. I don't mind it, actually. It's a pretty soft opening game is what I would say there. And we've got Dark Sun G. I've been good. I've been good watching Ange episode on EAFC YouTube. Oh, I didn't know about that, Dark Sun G. Maybe you can link me to it. That would be good. I'm in the middle of, doing my ultimate team at the minute, Dark Sun G. I've got a 6 squad together at the minute. But maybe you can link that to me. I haven't really seen that. Let me know. Link that to me. That'd be maybe good to watch. In that regard, big up Dark Sun G. Big up Del Boy as well. Great to see you, Derek. Hopefully you're keeping well, my man. He says big up Dave and Dermot. We've got Boris in the house. Another thing is with transfers wouldn't happen right now is because Ange isn't at the club himself right now as he is a pundit at ITV during the Euros. Well, Ange was in Australia. I think he's back for the next Belgium game or something like that. He's scheduled, isn't he? But, a lot of the people at Tottenham were on holidays, those not going to the Euros and shit like that were on holidays. I believe Ange is back, or he's back sort of in around Hotspur way, next week at some time, if I'm correct there, Boris. Wayne Bonner says, only as part of a 3-5-2, not contest 3-4-3. We can do better than Tony. I don't trust him at all. There is a lot of made of, is he going to gamble again and stuff like that? For the fee that you're going to have to pay, it's a big, big gamble. Spurs fan John says, we hate it because Conte was turgid and negative. I'm happy to with a back 4 as long as we sort a decent 6 out. Look, to be brutally honest, the only attacking back 5 system, which is effectively what it is. Forget this back 3 shit. It's not a back 3. It's always a back 5, the wing backs. The wing backs are more defensive than what they are more offensive. The only offensive formation I've seen of that is Xavi Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen. Everyone else that plays this 3 at the back, 5 at the back with a hybrid sort of system with the fullbacks going forward, it's more defensive than ever. For me, I get what people are saying, but we're also asking Ange to play a system that he's never played in his whole career in terms of a three at the back. This is the thing. Just get behind what Ange wants and let's stop thinking we know better than him. He wants four at the back, so we'll go with that. I just don't get the clamour towards a 3 or a 5 at the back. We can sit here and say under Ange it would be more offensive. We don't know that. It's only guessing work. What I do know is many Spurs fans didn't like the setup underneath Antonio Conte. When he was playing that setup, people were asking him to revert to a 4 at the back, put an extra body up through the middle and stuff like that. For me, it's proven it hasn't worked, and I don't want to go down that route again. I just find it absolutely mind-boggling that we make all the excuses. We chase Antonio Conte out of the club because of the way he played his system. And then the next manager we get in the door, we want him to revert similar to a system like that. I'm not having it. I'm absolutely not having it. We got to stop doing this to managers. I don't want the 3 at the back. It doesn't work. I want to keep the 4 at the back. That's just my opinion. But we can sit here and say, oh, that system didn't work because of Conte. That system has worked underneath Conte at nearly every other club he's been at. You know? So we got to stop making excuses. It doesn't work. We don't want to pivot to it. Many people wanted to pivot away from it. So I just don't get why there's a large clamour to go back to a similar system. I don't understand it. For me, in general, most 3, which is usually a 5 at the back system, is defensive first anyway. It's always there to protect you defensively first. No matter what sort of system, hybrid of it you play, the main objective is to, when you're out of possession, to play a 5 across that back line. So it's automatically starting off more defensive than it is on the offensive. And if we know Postecoglou the way we do, he's an offensive manager. He worries about Tottenham going forward rather than defensively. So I'm completely against the 3 at the back, completely against it. I just don't understand why there's a massive clamour to return back to it. Dermot, anything else you want to say on that, my man?
No, I think you covered everything, Dave, there. I think you covered a
Appreciate
lot.
that.
So. That's okay. Okay.
And then we've got this from Lee Harvey. Do you really think we will get Eze, Dermot?
Look, I think it will happen, but I think it will happen after the Euros. But look, we are in competition with other clubs. There's no doubt about that. But I think anyone looking at Tottenham see a Tottenham that's going places. So I think the Eze deal is probably, in my view, and for what I've been hearing, 50%, 55% it could happen. But until after the Euros, we're sort of just making guesses. But look, if I hear of anything, Dave, you know yourself, if I hear of anything or if I know what's coming down the line, I'll let you guys know first and fastest. I'll let Dave know as well, so he can let you guys know as well.
Yeah.
So we are, but at the moment, it's a very quiet window and I'm finding it quite boring. I want some action.
Yeah, do you know what we all do, Darmo? In an ideal world, we do. But the transfer window ain't happening because of clubs. It's happening because of players and the instructions they're giving their agents and clubs.
Yeah.
Most of these players heading to the Euros, they don't want the distraction. What they don't want is being training and then soon after getting phone calls off the agent. This club's interested, blah, blah, blah. They don't want that. They want to just be able to focus on the Euros. So it's more player-driven. And I don't think you'll see any sort of movement on Eze until England are finished at the Euros. Yeah. I don't think you're going to see any decision made on that. So I think we will have to wait for City to maybe finish at England to finish at the Euros before there is maybe any sort of deal struck with Eze's camp, and stuff like that. I think, unfortunately, and I hate to say this because we are so patient as Spurs fans, gonna have to show a bit of patience this week.
I think the Euros has to be finished. I said it before. Nothing will happen to after the Euros, David. You know that yourself. But look, we're so impatient for signings. We want to see us succeed. We want us to get in there first to get these. And look, we are going to have a good window. I've been told this since the end of last season. We've got a £250 million transfer budget plus sales. So we've got money to spend. We're getting players out. Who ever thought we'd get Don Bele out, by the way?
It's something I've been campaigning about for seasons now. Do you know what was ironic? We can't rip up contracts, can't pay them out. What did Tottenham end up doing with Don Bele?
Yeah,
that's right. They ended up paying him out of his contract. So why didn't we do it seasons before?
Yeah, because Ange's in there. Ange's telling them, you know yourself, Ange's changed the philosophy of Tottenham. He's changing it. We wouldn't have done this before. I mean, I feel sorry for all the Burger Kings and McDonald's around Tottenham High Road. We do send our sympathies at you at this sad time, but things will get better. Things will get better, lads. Don't worry.
We've got this from Rivalries. It's basically armchair managers point at the opposite to what we're doing and saying we should do that instead.
Yeah.
They should be the same people that want us to play 4-2-3-1 under Conte. Do you know what? Look, it's not only in the Spurs fan base; it's in every fan base. You know, at the end of the day, we're all fans of the club. We're all entitled to our opinions. I'm fully behind that. You know, you're entitled to your opinion. But I have said at Tottenham, it seems like, you know, we lambaste the manager, and this has been going on before Conte, you know, it's the same under Jose and stuff like that, for not doing something. And then when the next guy comes in to try and do something that we wanted, we ask him to revert. Whatever we've got, we want the opposite, basically, Ribsy. It's absolute madness. But Dermo, just quickly, because I do want to honour Dark Sun G's hard-earned money here. Did you get up the Liverpool fixtures?
I did. I've had them up for a while. They've got April, they've got Everton at home, Fulham away, West Ham at home, Leicester City away, then of course they're home to us. In May, they've got Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Brighton away, and then the last game of the season, they are away at Crystal Palace. So it's not, apart from Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, that's not a good run, May. May's tough for them. Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Brighton away, Palace at home. Of course, we're going to beat them anyway, so that's a given. That's 3 points against them. And then they've got Everton at home, Fulham away, West Ham at home, Leicester City away.
So they're difficult.
They're very difficult. And the first 6 fixtures, for just to give a bit of bonus to Dark Sun G, because he's such a legend of the channel, and we'd like to give Dark Sun G a little bit more for your buck. Sorry, Dave. They've got Ipswich away, Brentford at home, Man United away on the 31st of August, and then in September they've got Forest at home, Bournemouth at home, Wolves away. So the first 6 games for them, apart from Man United away, are probably winnable. But at the end of the season, they're going to struggle. They're struggling at the end of the season. So there you go, Dogs Country. Hope that impressed you.
And what I will say is, let's not forget no Klopp pops this year. You know, it's Arnie Slot. So, you know, there's that adaptation period as well, Dark Sun G and Klopp. You know, we've seen it at Man United. Moyes found it very hard to follow him. We've seen it at Arsenal, whoever's in after Arteta, or after Wenger, found it very hard to follow him. Such a big personality. So, is your dad nervous about the fixtures this year, Dark Sun G? Let me know. He should be. Big up, though, my man. Really appreciate the support. He also says City's February fixture is challenging. Plus, us and Liverpool back-to-back in November. Looking at these fixtures of our rivals this season, it's our chance to win. And guys, I wonder who else out there has checked the likes of, I need to have a drink, I'm getting hiccups, have checked the Arsenal fixtures, Liverpool fixtures, the Man City fixtures, and feel the same as Dark Sun G. You know, like he says, a lot of these clubs have big games back-to-back and stuff like that. He says City have us and Liverpool back-to-back in November, and he feels like there is a chance for us to maybe, with the way the fixtures have lied, for us to actually have a real good go this season. Let me know, do many other people agree with the same? I mean, it's probably like asking Dave, does he like chocolate? The answer is always yes. But Dermo, do you think the same as Dark Sun G?
I do, yeah. I do agree with Dark Sun G. He is the voice sometimes of reason. We do have to bow down to the musician that is Dark Sun G. I hope you're doing well, sir, and hope you're enjoying your summer. But yeah, I do agree with them 100%. I mean, I'm just looking at Man United's fixtures at the moment, the first 6 fixtures. And they've got Fulham at home, Brighton away, Liverpool at home, Southampton away, Palace away, and then they play us at home on the 28th. And that's not easy. And you look at the first 6 fixtures we've got to what they've got. We got slightly favourable fixtures, Dave, in the first 6 games. I know everyone's going to say, oh, they're Man United, it's winnable. But Man United are a load of crap. They've been a load of crap for a long time. They struggled against these teams last season. And I'll be very interested to speak to some of my Man United mates, which I will do today, see what they think. I think that's Ten Hag. If he doesn't get a good lot of points in that first 6 games, Ten Hag could be out the door very early. So very tough times for Liverpool, tough times for Man United. Do you know?
No, very tough times. Look, Dark
Yeah.
Sun G, I'll have a proper look at maybe, everyone's fixtures a bit later on. But I agree with you. Look, there's an opportunity here for us, and this is why I think it's very important to go and have a good window and maybe try and take advantage of it. We've seen how grueling these big fixtures back-to-back against top six can be. So these other teams will struggle in that regard as well, and it's them periods there where we need to capitalize and continue to chip away, put points on the board. But that will all happen if we get off to a good start this season. Big up, Dark Sun G. You're getting me excited, Dark Sun G. I'm trying to tamper it a little bit, but you're about to make me, get out my seat and go running with it, which I haven't done in a while.
Dave. So Calm down. Calm down, Dave. Calm down.
Big up, Dark Sun G. I'll try, Dharma. I'll try. I think I'm having a bit of your Kool-Aid. I think you must have sent it my way. We've got Orox Beats. Big up, brother. Really appreciate the support. He says, big up, lads. Would you rather have one marquee striker like Gyökeres, including a marquee right winger like Olise, over just one of the two with a marquee DM? So basically, Dharma is asking, would you take a marquee striker and a marquee right winger with no DM? Or do you want money the above with a DM?
Please just give me a striker. We so desperately need a striker. I would take a marquee striker and then 3 or 4 good squad players, but give me a marquee striker, please. We so need one. If we had one last season, I think we would have got Champions League football, to be fair. So please give us a striker. That's what I prefer. I don't know if you agree, Dave, but that's my preference.
Oh, look, I completely agree. I didn't want to sell our striker in the first place, but even then I wanted us to replace them. We haven't. So I definitely agree we need a striker. However, Orox, just hear me out. I'm not convinced we're going into the market for a striker this summer. I'm not convinced of it whatsoever. And the reason why I say that is we haven't really seen too many links. We've seen the fake thing about Ivan Toney put out. We haven't really seen too many links to a striker. A lot of that was more while the season was happening. But since the season has sort of ended, there hasn't been too many links to strikers. It's more so been wingers and stuff like that, likes of Kubo and people like that. By the way, Dark Sunji, let me know what you think of Kubo as a player. And I think Kulusevski is going to be shoehorned to be a striker next season. That's just my feeling on it. I look at the way he played up there last game of the season. He bagged 2 goals. I've campaigned anyone that's watched all my predicted lineups and stuff like that he should have been maybe put up there earlier when Richarlison was maybe injured and stuff like that he should have been given a run up there. Kulusevski talks about wanting to play through the middle. He talks about wanting to play through the middle more as a cam. But for me, I see him more as a striker. I think he's got similar attributes to Harry Kane, the way he holds up the ball, the big, strong body, sort of upper body, being able to hold off people and buy himself a yard in the box and stuff like that. I actually think that's more likely going to happen, and we're going to sign a winger. Dermo, just take over there for a sec.
Yeah, so that's behind a minute. Let's see where Dave is. We've got Dark Sun G with another super chat. He says, big up Dark Sun G. It says, since Ange came in, we got rid of Tonge, Sanchez, Wink, Steyer, which we expected to happen.
All right, I'm back, Dermo. I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
Just Dark Sun G's super chat.
Yeah, just quickly, I'll just finish off with Orox Beach here just quickly. So that's my opinion on that. I don't think we're going to buy one. I think we're going to, move Kulusevski up front. Let me know your thoughts on that, Orox. But, of course, I would love us to go out and get a marquee striker. I think it's what we're missing. I think we had that last season. I think some of the fixtures that were in the tight and we came out the wrong side towards the end, I think change and turn out to be points on the board for Tottenham, which probably would have put us into Champions League football. So, for me, I'd love a striker. But I also think we need a right winger, or we need another winger. We need someone that's going to offer similar to what Son has. Right now with Werner and Johnson, they're very similar. Pacey, want the ball in behind. But with the way we play, we're going to come up against a lot of teams that sit low block against us next season. We need players that are tricky, that can manipulate the ball, take players on, take them out of the game and create space for others. So I believe we need them. But I'd also argue we need a DM as well. I'd actually going to be greedy here, Orox Beats, and I want all 3. Because with the DM, we sort of asked Basuma to play that role. We've asked Bentancur to play that role. But they're not a natural DM. They're sort of guys that can do a job there, but they more want to get on the ball going forward and affect the games. I'd argue you bring in a proper DM, you switch that midfield tree to a 4-2-3-1, the way Pochettino maybe played it a little bit, rather than the 4-3-3. Put Madison there, put someone in beside Basuma. I think you get someone similar to Moussa Dembele in Basuma, the way he carries the ball. And then he has a lot more freedom to go and affect the game like that because he's got the actual natural number 6 sitting in behind him or sitting in beside him. So that's what I would like to see. Orox Beats, let me know your thoughts on that, my man. Really appreciate the support, brother. But Dermo, I really interrupted you. Dark Sun G says 3 contract ripped up. Bobo, Doherty, and Tanguy, all terrible. Dermo, are you happy that Spurs have ripped up these contracts over the last few years?
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Thank God for that. Thank God we got that fella who I don't abuse. I never go to a football match and abuse any player. Dave will grant you I don't. But that match in Ireland, Dave, the only fecker to come out wearing gloves. Ireland is a cold country. We know how to live. It's the only night I give him dog's abuse. He actually looked at me one point. He was looking at me like going, oh, Jesus. And then 10 minutes later, he took the gloves off. So my abuse worked. But yeah, Bobo, Doherty, crap, all gone. Thank God for that.
Speaking of which, I was absolutely delighted to see O'Shea rip him off at half-time there in one of the friendlies recently because he was playing so shit. It's about time that, this has started happening to Doherty because he's been shit for Ireland for quite some time, actually. But you know what used to drive me mad, Dark Sun G? Is the amount of people that used to come on and tell me Doherty's better than what you say he is. And I've watched him more than anybody. You know what I mean? It used to drive me absolutely mad. And in terms of Bobo, never liked him. I thought his attitude stank. And with Tanguy, I'm absolutely delighted the contract is absolutely ripped up. Dark Sun G, I'm delighted because all we were doing over the last few years, right, is we were clogging up loans, which we could have used to send players that maybe had a bit of a future, but not right now at Tottenham, and sent them out on loan. All we were doing was just clogging up that loan system, but also affecting ourselves in terms of the transfer market to a large degree, because when these guys come back in the summer, they're back on your wage bill, which means then you have to find another alternative before you can even focus on bringing in players and stuff like that. So there's a lot more consequences to it, Dark Sun G. So I'm glad that we're getting to this point now and finally sorting out this bloody squad. Dark Sun G, how many times have me and you sat there over the last few years, pulling our hair out, going ballistic, fighting with people over bang average players, and now a lot of them are gone and Tottenham seem to be moving back forward again, which is good to see. Spurs fan John, you boys worried about the fate of Thursday, Sunday football this season? Dermo?
No, not really.
Why?
It's the same for everyone. We're not the only one. The rest of the teams in Europe have got Thursday to Sunday football. The Premier League, the Champions League team got Wednesday, Saturday football. So no, it is what it is. You just got to roll with it.
They do say, though, Dermo, the Thursday, Sunday one, like this is from players that have played it in years gone by and stuff, say that it is a lot more grueling, actually, than the Wednesday,
it is grueling,
Sunday.
but it is grueling. But my answer is there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to get on with it. It's grueling, yes. Is there anything we can do about it? No, we want to be in Europe. We wanted to be in these competitions. So we've got to, this is one of the things that happens when you're in European football. So, bring back Doherty. Jesus, Shem.
He's only on the wind up. Big up, Shem. But you know what?
I think you're on the side, the top, not me.
I think he's had some of your Kool-Aid, Dermo.
I think he has a lot of my Kool-Aid.
But Spurs fan John, I believe this is actually John who was a part of the cheese room. Big up, John.
Yeah, big up, John.
I'm worried. I'm worried to a degree in terms of if we don't build a squad, it's going to be absolutely draining on what we've got currently. And we carry a lot of injuries already as is. So I'm worried in a degree to that. Also, if anyone has took the time to go and watch the Newcastle documentary on Amazon Prime, they covered the season where Newcastle ended up getting Champions League football when they were talking about the plans over the summer heading into that season. Statistically, because they went and done all the statistics on it, you pick up a lot more injuries when you go from a season with no Europe into a season with Europe. So I'm just putting the warning signs out there. Other clubs have already done the homework on this, so Tottenham better go and do the business to alleviate that a little. Last thing I will say is, I don't want to hear any moaning from any of them players. They all sit there and moan about wanting to play European football, wanting to challenge everything else. So go out there and get the job done then. No crying, no moaning. Big up, John. We've got Brian. I think they didn't rip up the contract earlier because of how much it would hurt the books financially for that year. That's the only reason I can think of with Levy being in charge. Look, 100%, but I kept on hearing it sets a bad precedent and everything. But then we still gone and done it. It doesn't matter when you do it. We've still gone and done it, even though I was told it can't be done and it's not good business practice. But yet we've gone and done it. So it can be done, and that's why my point was we should have done it earlier so that we could actually rotate our squad a lot more. Because my argument, Brian, was always take the short-term pain for a long-term gain. It was always going to come to a point where we were going to have to go through this and get players out the door and stuff. Finally looks like we're choosing to do it now, but we could have been so much more proactive about it earlier on in the season. And the thing is, I think, it's never going to be massive money to pay these guys off. At the end of the day, the way it usually works is you go to a player, you've got, 2 years left on your contract. We'll pay you up 1 year of that, up front, 1 year. Most times, players and clubs come to an agreement. It's never 100% fully paid up, and it's sorted out. But I was told it couldn't be done, and we've ended up doing it. So, although I get it, Brian, I'm just not going to have people to say it can't be done and then justify when we've done it to still suit the narrative. I'm not having it. If I was told it can't be done, stick to that. But it was done.
Can I also say, just very quickly, that Dombele Tango should be a very big warning sign that Levy should not be left in charge of transfers. Because look what happened. He bought a burger machine. Daniel, if you're watching, stay away from the transfers. Leave it to people that know better.
Fair. But big up, Brian. I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm just
I get what you're saying too.
Just being a bit of a dick, I suppose. But I do stand by to a degree what I said. Because what it is, I say these things. You know what it is, right? I say these things. I get absolutely pelters for it, and then it happens. That's why. Anyway, Jerome says, hello, lads. Hope you're both well. Arsenal in September. I want revenge. Look, not only Arsenal, we've got Newcastle in there away as well. 4-1 drubbing, and then the other one that we took the season before up there. I want revenge on them as well. And actually looking at maybe some of the starting fixtures, there's a good chance for Tottenham to put some omens right. Newcastle away, the North London derby at home, which I was there and we got played off the pitch. It was embarrassing, especially the first 45 minutes. So, there's a good opportunity for Tottenham to right some moments, right some wrongs to a large degree. And if we can get off and do that, the confidence it's going to breed, almost the arrogance it's going to give to the players, because they've got the games that have traditionally been tough, they've got over the line and come out the right side, and it can almost change your perspective, change the feeling in and around, the squad and stuff like that. So I agree with you. It's very, very important to go and get this done, Jerome. And good to see you, by the way, down under. I believe it's like 6 or 7 p.m. your time, so it's nice and early for you, Jerome. You don't have to listen to us when you're singing the kids a lullaby. So big up, Jerome. Really appreciate the support, brother, and as always, good to see you. Catspur, people just want 3 at the back now because we have Rom, Van de Ven, and Radu instead of Rom, Dyer, and Sanchez. Look, 100% and get it. But the same people that want 3 at the back now used to defend Dyer and Sanchez and tell me they were good enough and used to use them as a tool to beat Conte with. We can't have it both ways. Can't go, now because they're going to 3 at the back will work. Well, when I tried to argue signing better defenders for the 3 at the back under Conte, people told me it'd never work. But so do you see where I sort of get a bit annoyed to a degree, Kat? Like, I'm not annoyed at people like you putting in these comments and stuff. I enjoy it. It's good to have these conversations. But people cannot have their cake and eat it. They can't say, Dyer and Sanchez are better players than what we give them credit for. Conte's the problem. And now it'll work because them players are gone and they were the problem. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. But really appreciate the chat, Kat. I do get what you're saying. I do get what people are asking for. When you've got the caliber of a Radu Dragusin, when you've got the caliber of a Romero and a Van de Ven, 3 real high quality defenders, I can understand it. I can't understand it. I'm just anti-3. Well, it's disguised as 3 at the back. It's 5 at the back. I'm anti that, to be brutally honest with you on that one, Kat. But I'm open to maybe someone trying to convince me. So, Kat, if you have the answers to convince me, please put it in the chat. Wow, we've got this from Rob Wallace. What an absolute legend. Really appreciate this, my man. And everyone else out there who's recipients of these should appreciate, and please get in the chat and say thank you to Rob. But Steve 24/7, George Carderas, do you know what? He must be one of the luckiest people on this planet because he always seems to get one. Daniel Harris, Spurs fan John, Spurs GC TV, Just a Harmless Potato, Dan the Carter Man, Chris Loney, Fat Tony, and Kevin Ferguson. Chris Loney, Fat Tony, that's a good rap lyric for someone. And Kevin Ferguson are all the lucky recipients of the memberships gifted out by Rob Wallace. So people are already saying thanks. George, you must be one of the luckiest fuckers going out there, Georgie boy. You always seem to be on the receiving end of getting one. Big up, my man. Big up, Rob Wallace. Really appreciate the support, brother. But also, please put in the chat, let me know what you think of the fixture schedule. Maybe a bit kinder to us than what it's been in years gone by. Big up, Rob Wallace, and really appreciate support. And hopefully things are going well for you down under as well. And we've got this from Dark Sung G. We'll take a few more comments and then we will maybe look to end off in a little while and then let Dermo go about his day. Dark Sung G says, since Ange came in, we got rid of Tanguy, Sanchez, Winks, Dyer, which we never expected to happen. Trust Ange. For your information, City challenging fixture month, Gooners, Arsenal away, Newcastle at home, Liverpool at home, Spurs away. Laughing my ass off. And look, Dark Sun G, this is like I was at, you know what? I speak to Hotspur hippies, when we can, because it's different time in the world and stuff on the phone at times. And this one thing I've always said to them, I will always respect Ange Postecoglou for seeing through the likes of Dyer and people like that and getting a lot of that dead wood out of this football club on a permanent basis. You know, he's got rid of shit. And what I mean by that, he's got rid of all the players that are just were never technically good enough to be at Tottenham. You know, no longer are we sitting there watching a team that can't put two passes together, you know, that look like an average Sunday league side. Okay, we've got our problems going forward. But the way we play out from the back into the forward line is one of the best in the Premier League. Now we just need to have the forward line to complement it. But one thing I'm always going to be indebted to Ange for, he's got rid of a lot of the losers, the loser mentality, the players that weren't technical, and I'm all for it. And as for City's hardest month, I mean, look, it's not an easy month that for them, is it? You know, that's a very tough month. They're playing 4 of the top 6 within the side of a month. So, you know, a bit grueling. One thing I will say is, though, that City's tend to have the squad to be able to cope with that Dark Zone G. Dermo, what's your thoughts on what you have to say here?
Yeah, I agree with them. I agree with you and Ange, by the way. He's seen through plays like that. How long have we complained about the likes of Dyer and Dombele, Sanchez, Winks, and all them useless articles? And now Ange has come in, and within a few months, they're gone. That must say, it doesn't say a lot about Conte and Mourinho and Nuno. That they couldn't get rid of him. Ange's come in, right? These players are not good enough. They're gone. And as for Man City, I mean, their first 6 games is start away at Chelsea, then at home at Ipswich, away to West Ham, home to Brentford, then they got Arsenal, Newcastle, home and away. So even City's first 6 fixtures are a little bit tough. And with all the other shenanigans that's going around City at the moment, and all the other stuff that they're in court at the moment, then they've got the Premier League chasing them. Are City going to take their eye off the ball? And that we need to watch this Man City thing, because this could upend the season, the Premier League this season. This could be probably one of the biggest news, whatever which way it falls. Either they get found not guilty, but if they do get found guilty and they say, right, we're going to kick you out of the league, what happens then to the rest of the games we're playing? And we all know 6 or 7 Premier League clubs have given evidence against Man City. So do the Premier League clubs now have to come together and say, look, we want this out of our league? Do they then say, well, look, we're going to start refusing to play City? This is going to rumble on. I don't think that will happen, but it's going to rumble on and on, this Man City thing, Dave. And it could have a very big impact what happens in the Premier League this season. I think that thing we've got to look at very closely. But look, personally for me, I think City won't win the Premier League next season. I think we're going to have a new champions, and that's going to be Tottenham. So they just better get ready now. Just get the bus out now. Get the bus ready. Let's get the bunting out. We're going to win the league.
Do you know what, Dermo? When it comes to Man City, just quickly, the reason why it's dragging on and on is because I said this a long time ago. The likes of City and Everton admitted it and tried to work with the Premier League, hoping they'd get a softer stance from the Premier League. But it didn't quite work out that way. Where Man City are fighting it, which means the Premier League actually have to go and produce thousands and thousands of documents to prove what they're saying. And that's why it's taken so much longer to deal with than the Arsenal or than the Forest and the Everton one. But look, I'll be brutally honest, as much as I don't like it and stuff with what's going on with Man City, I'm not really focused on them. Pep's last season, hopefully there's a bit of a drop-off there and we can maybe capitalize on it. Because I was saying at the course of last season, this summer is important in terms of putting ourselves in a good position for when Man City do make the change from Pep Guardiola, when Klopp leaves Liverpool. This is the time for us to sneak in there. Under Pochettino, when we were up the top, Liverpool were going through a transition. United, teams like that were all going through transitions and we benefited from it. Now's the time to do that again. And that's why we have to have a good transfer window this summer. Dark Sun G, really appreciate the support. We'll take a few more comments. We've got Chris Loney says, Rob Wallace, hi mate, big thanks for the membership and greetings from Rockingham, West Australia. Hi Dave and Dirk. Chris Loney, big yourself up, my man. And thank you for, getting in there and appreciating Rob Wallace's generosity. And good to see you, Chris, my man. Hopefully you're enjoying Australia. Big up, John Fitzpatrick. Good to see you. I haven't spoke to you in a while. How's you and the family down in Limerick? We've also got Kim A.D. Helgeson. Big up, all. Good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. No, I know you weren't, Kat. I know you were trying to say what people want. I was just trying to, I was trying to answer it as well. I fully get what you're saying. Kat. Aaron Robinson says, big up, Dave and Dermo, get me through the day on a kitchen fit. Are you getting your kitchen fitted or are you fitting one, my man? Fitting them ain't the easiest job in the world. We need to let Ange work the squad, give him free reign, bring the bodies he wants, not the ones everyone thinks he needs. And this is important. The one thing I will say is, now, we have heard it actually, to a degree, Conte sort of disassociated himself from the Jed Spence one, didn't he? But, it does seem like Ange has had his say so far. He has said that himself. So hopefully it continues in that manner, Aaron. Let's wait and see, my man. We also have Martin Nobrega. Quick question, guys. Would you take 250 million for Cutie and Sonny this transfer season? Nowhere near it. But look, the reason why, and a mass part of the reason why is when we built the stadium, we were told we were going to use a lot of the money and the generated income that it's going to bring to keep our best players at this football club so we wouldn't have to become a selling club. Now, we broke that when we sold Harry Kane, but we can't afford to sell Son and Cutie Romero. You can't afford to. Romero's our best defender in the back line in terms of defensively and the way he plays on the ball. Absolutely unbelievable. One of the world's best defenders. Can't afford to sell him. You've got to keep players like that. Same with Sonny. I get he's coming to the tail end of his career, and there will be a point where you have to try and sort of, manage the decline and when's the right time to cash in on Son. But you can't sell Sonny after selling Harry Kane last season. I'm sorry. You're taking the two biggest source of goals out of your team over the course of 2 seasons. We already seen the decline from selling Harry Kane. Imagine selling Son from that forward line right now when he's the only player, more or less, that stepped up regularly last season on a regular basis to the best he could. Can't afford to do it. We just can't. I'm sorry. And then he says, hello, boys, just worked 17 hours straight, going for a beer at the pub, just a Portuguese guy who loves Spurs in Australia. Well, hopefully you're loving Australia. And a point is definitely well-deserved after a 17-hour shift. I can bloody tell you that. Fair play to you, my man. Absolute fair play. Aaron is fitting the kitchen. Fair play to you, my man. Fair play. Not an easy job to do. Not an easy job to do, especially when it's hot and summery and stuff like that. And then we've taken this and we've got a couple more super chats to get to. And then we will call it a day and let everyone go about their business. Rob Wallace says, quite a good draw for a change. Would like to see some incoming players that turn the needle. We should be getting across the line a lot more versus the bottom half of the Prem teams. And you know what? This is an area where maybe it did come back to bite us last season. The games we did beat them, we made hard work of. But then there's some games, especially the middle part of the season, we allowed them back into the game and take points off us. And that is an area where we do need to do a lot better. And I'd also argue maybe the top 6 as well. We did start off well against the top 6 last season, but over the course of the season, that faded out very, very quickly. Orox Beats, he says, I'm greedy too. He wants Tony, Rafinha, and I presume that's Damari Gray, who scored a hat-trick in the European final. Look, I really like Tony. I think in terms of what a striker needs to do, not only score goals, but hold up the ball, play others in and stuff like that. I think he's got all these sort of attributes. However, and I believe Mia's had this conversation. I think we had a conversation with her a couple of weeks ago, and she brought this up. I've heard others mention it as well. It's a big gamble, I don't want to harp on about it, but like, if we lay out 60 million, he gets caught gambling again. He's out for an even longer period and we're fucked. It's a waste of money and he's non-existent. And that's why I don't think there's been as much of a clamour of clubs going in for him the way many expected them to for Ivan Toney for that reason. And I'll use Newcastle as my reference. Tonali, fantastic player. I understand why they went and broke the bank for him. But look what happened. They could barely use him over the course of last season because of the gambling. And I think, that would probably maybe why Spurs won't go for Ivan Toney this summer or Ox Beats, although I agree with you. I'd like to get greedy and take all three. Jerome says, I'll be very happy with Toney and Eze. Look, I'd absolutely love Eze. I think he's going to be an absolute game changer if you can bring him in. Not only can you play him in Madison's position, you can play him off either flank as well. He's a goal machine. And what I like about him, he's something different. He likes to get on the ball, take players on, take them out of the game. He's a bit of that, what is it? Je ne sais quoi that I was asking for over the course of last season up front. He definitely provides that, Jerome. I'd absolutely love Eze. My thoughts on Toney stay the same. Dark Sun G Dermo says this window, first he wants one left back, then one right back, one cam, one CDM and Roman right winger, and he says, then we look set. Do you agree? Is there any positions missing off of that?
I want a centre back. I think that's missing. I want another centre back in just to cover. So we've got two covering centre backs. Probably a white ring back as well. And then I agree with the rest then. But we need a striker. We desperately need a striker. So, and then the only thing as well, Dave, look, I agree with you. If he gets caught gambling again, then it will be a waste of money. But I think also you've got to give players a chance to redeem themselves.
Yeah, no, I agree. You do have to give
a chance. I always go back. You look at that Tony Adams back in the day when he went to prison very shortly for drink driving. He redeemed himself. He came back and said,
"True,
the club put faith into me. I'm going to show them faith." But you got players like Paul Merson that didn't. So there is players that don't care, and there is players that want to redeem themselves. Is Toney in that? I don't know. I wouldn't pay 60 million for him anyway. And I'm probably one of the fans that don't want him at the club. But if the club buy him, I will support him. But I'd rather go look somewhere else for my striker than Toney, to be honest.
No, look, I really like Toney. I'm just a bit dubious, but I do agree with you. Of course, everyone deserves a chance to sort of, repent is probably the wrong word, but, change. I agree with that for sure. Dark Sun G, like I said, I would love to add a striker to that. I just have a feeling Kulu's going to be the other option with Richarlison next season. That's just my feeling on it. Neighbours have no respect out there making noise before 11 o'clock in the morning. That should be a crime, believe I said. But I would love to add a striker to that list, Dark Sun G. But apart from that, I definitely agree. They're the options that we probably, the areas we do really need to be looking at. Really appreciate that, my man. Maybe give us some names on players that maybe you would like to see in them positions, or maybe you can wait for Jack to be back and put the names in, and he'll give you probably a better breakdown than what I will. Adrian Trias says, big up, lads. Enjoy Dragusin dunking on Ukraine yesterday. Look, you had a great game yesterday, Dragusin. I watched sort of after the games, the commentary on the English TV and the Irish TV, and both pulled out Dragusin and gave him severe praise yesterday. It was a good performance, and he looks so much better on the right-hand side. When he plays on the left-hand side, at times last season, although there was some good performances, he was a bit erratic on the ball, and that's why we do need to bring in a left-sided centre-back, someone that can actually play there, like a Calafiori, someone like that, to help. But Radish Dragusin looked absolutely brilliant yesterday for sure. Big up Adrian Trian, good to see you, my man. And, let me know if you'll be getting the third kit this year with the Basuma. One thing I will say is I actually like the home kit. I think it's very nice. I hate the away and the third kit. I think it's absolutely
You don't like the away
disgusting.
kit?
No.
I love it. It's got a bit of Argentinian about it, the Argentinian kit about it. I love that. I love that away kit. We wore that all blue away kit back in the 80s, by the way. We had an all blue away kit, so it brings me back to that. I love the kit, the home and away kit this year.
For me, it looks like a seedy carpet in an after hours club. To be brutally honest with you,
it's better than the one we had last season that looked like somebody just was very ill over a shirt, just stood there. Or just throw yourself over that. I mean, that was awful. But give me a yellow away kit. We've always played in yellow away. I've got white and blue at home. I'm over the moon. Give me yellow away kit. It's not much to ask Nike.
But you know what, Dermo? I went to sort of do a bit of research on when the Nike contract's up, and they signed a 15-year deal. So, I think we'll have to wait quite some time before we get rid of Nike. Get Adidas back. That's where you'll get your yellow away kit.
Yeah, I love Adidas. That was one of my favorite kits, Adidas kits. They really were. Levy, break the contract and bring an Adidas. Do something good.
Do you see some of them Adidas jerseys now are going for like £200-300 a pop? They're very hard to get your hands on. It's absolute madness. Mia W, member for 20 months. That's absolutely outstanding service. Big up, Mia. And I am just getting back to things, so I will be in contact with you at some point this week for sure. And I do appreciate the phone call and that, and I haven't forgotten. I will be in contact. She says, big up, guys. Let's see what happens this season, and let's see what it brings us. Also, the Scum early in the fixtures at home. Bring it on, guys. Of course, Mia, you were at the last North London derby. It was good to see you. It's a shame I couldn't get down there earlier, to spend more time with you and a lot more people down there. But it was good to see you. Will you be making a trip up again for the North London derby? I almost feel like we have to, because we were so badly beaten in the last one. I almost feel like we have to go to try and put it right, Mia, on that regard. But let me know if you'll be going. But I'm super excited. It's home as well. And that's what I think could help and work in our favour. The one I'm actually worried about is the Newcastle one, Mia away. 2 hidings up there over the last 2 seasons. A bit nervous about that one, but I would like us to put some omens right. But big up, Mia. Good to see you, and hopefully the 2 lads are enjoying their summer holidays and maybe not giving you too much trouble. That would be ideal. And then we've got Chris Loney. Can see what you mean about no striker, Dave. I'd be happy to stick with what we have left if we bring in better wingers too and strengthen defence. Maybe throw in anyone but Tony and Solanke. Look, I'm not saying we shouldn't go and get a striker. I think that should be first priority on the list. Go and try and bring in an absolute assassin in front of goals. But then the argument is, what other ones are there outside of like Harry Kane and a select few? Strikers seem to be in short supply. I just have a feeling, because there's been no links to strikers really so far since the season has ended. There was more links to it while the season was happening. I just feel that with Kulu playing striker come the end of the season, I think that was a view of looking at that long term. Could be wrong. Let's wait and see on that one. Chris Loney. Let's take a few more and then we will crack on. El Cockera, good morning, Jose. He says, good morning, Dave, and Adapt and all you great people are, I think he meant to say Dermot, and all you great people in the chat. Some surprise in the fixture list. Do you know what? For once, they've actually been kind to us. I mean, I have to go and lie down now and, I have to try and find out what angle the Premier League are coming from, because they don't do it for no reason. That's for sure. Paddy Harnett says we will get a forward this summer. That's 100%.
Yeah.
And look, Paddy's usually never too far wrong, to be fair. I hope you're right, Paddy. I do hope you're right. Let's wait and see. Michael from Poland, big up, Nick. He says, except it's not all blue, Dharma. It's stripier. It looks like a prison kit. Fair point. That is a fair point. I agree with you. I don't like it. I presume you don't like it either, Michael. And we've got this from Orox Beats. I meant Archie Gray, but to Tony, maybe Jimenez. Do you know what Orox Beats? 2 things. Jimenez, I'm very dubious of going to the Dutch league. We pulled Vincent Janssen out of there. He was banging more goals than what anyone in the Dutch league is now. He's banging 30, 40 a season in the Dutch league. Couldn't come to the Premier League and replicate it. You look at a lot of players that have left the Dutch league over the last few years. That great Ajax team. look where a lot of them went, and none of them really went on to make it to any of the clubs they moved to. My point being, there's not been a lot of Dutch players that have left that league and gone to other leagues and really ripped it up and really made a name for themselves. So on that basis, I am a bit hesitant of going into that Dutch league and pulling players out. Look, with Jimenez, he was actually at the North London Derby at the back end of the season, the one that myself and Mia were at. Is that a telling sign? Is he going to one of them clubs? Let's wait and see how that pans out. He's not there for no reason, is what I would say. But I have my doubts about it just in general. In terms of Archie Gray, I think he's a fantastic prospect, but I do have my problems with it to a degree. We sit here and call for us to go for kids like this at 18 years of age. Let's bring them in. But yet we're so adverse to giving our own kids an opportunity. Archie Gray has only really burst onto the scene this season because Leeds gave him that opportunity. Now, what I'm trying to clarify is he can play centre-back, but he also played a lot of this season with Leeds at right-back. So what position is Tottenham looking at him for? If it's centre midfield, I don't want him because you're clogging up the route for Alfie Devine, Tyrese Hall, people like Jamie Donnelly. If it's at right-back, I can understand it because we don't really have any fullbacks coming through the academy in that position. But if we're going to sit here and call for Tottenham to go and sign these 18, 19-year-olds, then we should be also advocating for Tottenham to give our own youth a chance in that regard. That's where I'm at with that. Dermo, where are you at?
Yeah, I can't disagree with you more. Archie Gray for me, right back, I'd be happy with that, but not as a midfielder. As you say, we've got that coming through. Look, any player you buy from Europe, you're taking the chance because the Premier League is so different to any league in Europe. It's the fastest league in Europe. It's the most. You're constantly on the go from the first minute. So any player we buy from Europe is going to be a chance. But I think we should any striker we buy should be Premier League proven. At least we don't have to worry about them getting up to speed with the Premier League. They've already up to speed. But who's in the Premier League? Who we can buy? Again, you're looking at Ivan Toney. So you're sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So we just have to see what happens. I'm sure Ange will get them. If we get them in early enough, Ange will get them up to speed before the Premier League anyway pre-season. But look, it is what it is. I would love Gimenez more than anyone at the club. And I hope he does come. But we just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, just get your checkbook out and buy Gimenez. Give us something we can be happy with. Please, Mr. Levy. Thank you.
Well, Orax Beats has come in with a counter to what I've said. He says, I know we have Vincent Janssen PTSD, which I definitely do.
That's for sure.
Says, but Jimenez is South American. And look, I get he's South American, but I think the point I'm trying to make, if I'm correct, Vincent Janssen scored more goals in the Dutch league than what Jimenez did. And look how he struggled to replicate it in the Premier League. When was the last good Dutch striker to come out of the Dutch league to the Premier League that's actually come in and banged in goals? Van Nistelrooy. Since then, no player from the Dutch league has come to the Premier League and made that impact or ripped it up. And I'm a bit hesitant. I think right now, a lot of the Dutch exports, no matter what league they've gone to, they haven't really hit the ground running. They haven't really made the impact that many as maybe expect them to make when they've made that step up. And that's why I'm a bit hesitant. It's not just only over Vincent Janssen. It's just a trend I see in general. But that's only my own opinion. Look, if Jimenez comes in, I'm not going to sit there and cry and moan. I'm going to be delighted because I'm asking for a striker. But I'm just putting it on paper. I do have my doubts. It's like what me and Mia said when we were linked with Madison. I think he's a good player, but me and Mia had our doubts. We said we would rather, a Pedro Goncalves over Madison. And come the end of the season, I think many people would probably would have agreed with that to a degree. And then Mick from Poland will take this member for 25 months. Jesus Christ, Mick. I wonder, can we get 3 years together, Mick? He's just 24 is 2 years. So, 25. Let's see if we can do another 11 months together. He says, not giving much attention to transfer rumors during Euros. Enjoying the football. Hope you were well, Dave. Big up, Dermot. Come on, you Spurs. And Polska. Do you know what? You absolutely put up a great game the other day. Who were they playing again? I watched the game. I just can't remember. Who were Poland playing? It was a big team. Anyway, I can't remember. Mick put in the chat who they were playing, but they gave an absolute great account of themselves. Who were they playing? That's going to bug me because I bloody watched the game. Can't remember now anyway, but they were absolutely sensational. Body on the line, good, last-ditch defending, scored that goal as well. Unlucky not to win the game, but they gave Netherlands, that was it. They gave a very good account of themselves, Mick, and you should be proud. And all that without Lewandowski as well, by the way. Should be very, very proud of the performance you guys put in. And looking at you, I think you're better than the last major competition you were at. The last major competition you're at, no disrespect, I thought you were a bit boring, a bit dull. But this Poland team is a little bit different. You've got a bit more sort of flair on the wings and stuff like that. You looked very good the other day, actually. Potentially probably get out of the group as well, Mick. Should be very proud of the performance you guys put on. But look, guys, I think that's it. I think we are going to end it off here. We've been live for 2 hours. We're going to call it a day here. Just a couple of things just quickly, guys. First of all, Jack is asleep, but it is his birthday today. So I'd appreciate if as many of you as can get in, give him a message, drop comments in underneath this, in anything underneath the community section, or if you've got Jack's number, or on Twitter, please go and wish the guy a happy birthday. He does a great job here, and he brings me a lot of joy, and I know it brings you guys a lot of joy as well. So please wish Jacko a happy birthday. He's kept it quiet because he didn't want the fanfare. But, I mean, it's your birthday. You deserve a bit of fanfare on your birthday, right? If you can't get it on your birthday, when do you get it? So please make sure you wish Jack the happiest of birthdays today. Second of all, if people think we're not doing watch-alongs for yours, you're sadly mistaken. We are. Check out the community section. Click on the link, get over, sign up. It's absolutely free to do. And come and join us for all of our Euro watch-alongs. We've got, I think, 8 games coming up there between Copa America and the Euros. We will be watching USA. We'll be watching the likes of Argentina. We're on Romero watching stuff like that. And it's good. It's laid back over there on T4, and we want you guys to come and join us. But lastly, THFC till I die. Dermo, you were very kind to get out of bed very early for me this morning, which I really do appreciate, my man. So where can people find you, brother?
Yeah, you can find me over THFC till I die. I haven't done a lot over the since the end of the season, only bits and pieces. A, felt a bit tired. B, mental health hasn't been great, but I'm now back to full fitness. I'm back mentally perfect. So we're back today at 5 with our look at the fixtures, me and Tequila. And yeah, we've got watch-alongs coming up, the Euros, but we're going to do a lot of stuff for the pre-season for Tottenham. Then next season, we'll full belt back into it again. We're still on the march to 2K, so I would love to get to 2K before the start of the season. We're nearly at 1,840, so we're not far off. We're only 100 and something away. So come on, guys. If there's 100 of you in here, get over there, give us a subscribe, and I really would appreciate it. And and thanks to Dave for having me on. I love coming on here. I've missed it. Now I feel like I've got a bit of drugs into me. I've come onto this channel again. So looking forward to the season. Thanks, Dave. Really enjoyed it. And happy birthday, Jack. Have a blast. I've just sent you a message on WhatsApp, brother.
I love it. Love it. Well, look, appreciate that, Dermo. Please, everybody, get on Dermot's link. Get over there. Hit that subscribe button. And, get over there and show Dermo your support. Also, Dark Sun G, if you're still around, try and send me that link for that Ant Postecoglou FIFA career thing you were talking about. I'm on that. And we've got Lee Harvey wishing Jack a happy birthday. We've also got Mia says, one of my favorite Yanks. Hope Jack has a great day. Same with Orox Beat, wishing him a happy birthday. Same with Swim Master. If Jack watches this on replay, probably won't. I think he was actually under orders from the missus today. You're not working and you're not doing anything. So I think she's cleared the schedule to take him out and hopefully treat him very nicely, So maybe he probably won't watch this on playback, but I'll be sure to maybe suggest that he should look towards the end of the show and, get on the birthday messages. Big up, guys. You're so kind. And I know that will absolutely make his day. But like I said, if you do have personal contact with him, please send him a message and wish him a happy birthday. I'm going to put something up in the community tab. It'd be nice to all you guys who've already done it, if you could get in the community section within an hour or so and drop the message in underneath there, just to make Jack feel special. And plus, I think he'll really appreciate it, that you guys really, really love him like that. So make sure you do wish him the happy birthday. But guys, not a grueling fixture list. It's been kind to us. There's no real, a period where they're all stacked up. I think it's a very good fixture list. Now it's over to the board. Let's see what they can do to help Ange in his task of trying to deliver trophies at Tottenham Hotspur. I want to say a massive thank you to all you guys who have chose to tune in. I haven't been well the last while, mentally as well, like Dermot. Sometimes, I struggle in that as well. So I'm absolutely delighted to be back. I feel guilty when I'm missing and I'm not here. I'm delighted to get back into the swing of things and for you guys to continuously support us. Big up Beto, big up Jim, Dark Song G, Lee Harvey, Moondog, Orox Beats, Jerome, Rob Wallace gifting out the 10 memberships, Adrian Chia, Mia W, and Mick as well. Really appreciate all you guys who have gone the extra mile today on the support. But look, guys, that's it from me. I'll wait and see maybe if there's any transfer news. If there is, I might come back live later on. It depends on what news is out there. If there's not, I'll definitely be back to do one tomorrow. But guys, that's it from me. Go and enjoy your day. The season fixture list is out. The heads are focused. We're pumped and ready to go. Roll on the season. Come on, you Spurs. In the mighty hands we trust. We never stop. Let's bloody go.
Come on, you Spurs. Woo-hoo.